You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation Collecting Center. Come on, won't you stay with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world. Let's show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Gonna talk to guests, only got the best. Gonna put their knowledge to the test. Gonna laugh and eat, gonna disagree. Gonna show you things you've never seen. Gonna sing a song to the break of dawn. Gonna rock this party all night long. So come on everybody, let me see you dance. Get yourself ready, you got one more chance. You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation Collecting Center. Come on, won't you stay with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world. Let's show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Hey. And we're back. Welcome to the PlayStation Collectors Podcast, Season 4, Episode 2. My name is Joe Rad. How you doing? And with us, as always, we have Figsy. What's going on, brother?
Hey.
Glad to see you. And our special guest this evening is the one, the only, Mr. Hazardous Game Collecting. How you doing, buddy?
Good, man. Thank you.
Welcome to the show.
Great to be here. I'm honored.
Oh, we are too. And right off the bat, I just got to say, like I said it before, your setup looks awesome, dude.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm on a static. I can move this around all kinds. We can do a nice little. I showed too much.
Oh my God. Dude, it looks super fun. Like, I don't know. I can just tell that room is fun.
Yeah, it's both work and play. And even my wife has her work from home set up in here.
Nice.
You can.
Oh, you guys work in the same room? That's impressive. I work from home as well, and my girlfriend works from home as well, but we cannot work in the same room.
No.
Oh no way. It would just be too much distraction. We would annoy the shit out of each other. We would never get anything done.
It's rare that like our meetings overlap, but like when they do, sometimes hers are like, we got some serious stuff to talk about, and then I'm like, yo, what's up, everybody?
Exactly. That's exactly what I do. I do that too all the time. She'll be in a meeting. I'll kick the door open. I'll be like, "Where's the peanut butter?" Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Oh, during COVID, during quarantine was like, yeah, it was. We had to be careful.
And she's always like, "What was so important?" I'm like, "Nothing. Nothing's ever." But yeah, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us who you are, what you like to collect.
Thanks. Hazardous Game Collection. So long of a name that when I started streaming, it was like, whoa, let's chop that down. And it was already kind of something I started on Instagram. It's where I met Figsy when I got into game collecting. I think we talked like 2017, 2018.
We've known each other for like almost half a decade now.
Yeah, dude, it's madness, actually. So yeah, Hazardous GC is what I go by on most platforms, and started game collecting through Instagram, showing it off. Met a bunch of people through that community, and then found out what streaming was all about, and drifted into that kind of platform. And then that's where I sort of really came into upgrading my tech space, upgrading my collection, and all of that. Really enjoy racing games, and I collect for mostly PlayStation, but pretty much everything between anything that can look good on a shelf, arguably in a case and with a spine, preferably with no stickers. And yeah,
it's pretty cool, man. Yeah, so we're obviously, you're in the right place then. We're all like, I'd say PlayStation centric. Like mostly all, like most of the people on here, we collect that primarily, but we all collect whatever. I mean, you love gaming, like you're doing yourself a disservice if you're not trying out other consoles and other things. Like I've never understood the the undying brand loyalty fanboy stuff at all. I'm like, whatever. Dude. If
We
Xbox
love
comes out with
Nintendo, we love Sega, we love Xbox, you know.
Yeah.
I love PC gaming.
Yeah.
The only thing that I don't love is gaming on my phone, but hey, each to their own. If that's all you've got, then that's all you've got.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier. Like, I am like really not interested in mobile gaming on phones at all. But I love handheld gaming. I don't understand myself. I don't get it. Like, I love the DS and the Vita and the Steam Deck and all that. I'm obsessed. But like, you hand me a phone, I'm like, ew. I don't play games on this. I don't know what it is. I just don't.
What's funny is I have a Sony Xperia 1 Mark IV, and I specifically like took out a Best Buy credit card so I could buy this, and because Verizon didn't offer it as a flagship device, so that was my only way of like paying monthly for it, right? And I bought it because it was like, 120 hertz screen and it does all the gaming. I don't game on this whatsoever. I did a few months ago reinstall Fallout Shelter, if you could even call that like something that you sit there for hours in game, but no. But I agree with you. Handhelds all the way, just not on my phone.
Another thing I've discovered about myself that makes zero sense is I am not interested in any phone games at all. But if they port them to the consoles, all of a sudden they look pretty good.
Slap a limited run game sticker on them.
Yeah. I'll be like, this game looks sick, and I'll buy it, and then it'll be like, yeah, this is a mobile game. I'm like, it was? Oh, whatever. I don't know. So it's funny. Like, I guess to me, it's not really like mobile games are the problem. It's just it's the free games with the pay to win and all the crappy price structure stuff that I avoid. Like anything that has any sort of like you have to buy gems or coins or anything like that, I avoid that with the plague. I won't go anywhere near.
Well, if it's not that, it's the opposite. It's let's flood the game with ads because we have to make money, and it'll be just unbearably an amount of ads, and it'll be like, let's get the paid version because this is just unplayable. And at that point, you're like, what am I doing? I don't want to buy a $20 mobile game. I'll just stop playing.
Yeah, YouTube finally got me. I finally signed up for the premium because I couldn't stand the ads anymore. There were just so many of them. I was just like, I can't do this. I just can't do it anymore. Like, if I have to see Ryan Reynolds one more freaking time on my phone, I'm going to kill myself. I don't want Mint Mobile. Shut up.
I've been doing new premium for the last 6 years, but I justify it in I don't have Spotify, so I use YouTube Music, and that's how I justify. It's basically the same price as a music subscription, and YouTube Music has everything, so I'm not
It's true.
It is pretty nice, and when I work a lot, I listen to music on YouTube, so it's nice to have it with no commercials and just whatever.
Not to mention, if you got it on your phone, you can play YouTube Music and close the app, and have it on the background. Where if you don't have it, you have to be in the app, which is a pain in the ass. So
that is true. Yeah, and it's also like, it's true. Like it saves like where you are in your videos better and stuff like that. Like you could open up the app the next day, it'll take you right back to the video you were watching, right at the point you were watching. And like I don't think it was doing that before. So yeah, it's
I've had
cool.
things where I've gone to go on a plane and I just download 4 or 5, 20-minute videos prior to the trip. Watch all the videos on the plane when there's no internet and things like that. So. Like, if you take advantage of what it offers, you can get the most out of it, for sure.
So, you say that you collect mostly PlayStation. Is there like a specific like console that you're after? Did you start off with PS3? Is that how you found Figsy? Because that's how I found Figsy. Is like literally, I was like, it's time to start collecting PS3, and I looked up, PS3, and Figsy was just all over it. I was just like, yeah, baby, this guy knows what's up.
The godfather of PS3 collecting. PS2 is actually my preferred console to collect for. I love that era so much because it was lawless. You can pretty much, there's games about anything, and people were so creative and innovative. I think Sony had learned from PS1, and like people do want to be at home. People do like the graphics and the consoles. They don't so much like being tied down like a computer necessarily. Not every household was fortunate to have a PC that could play games and be on the internet. So like, yeah, just the amount of games that I find in the PS2 and original Xbox era, especially the ones that were exclusive to those consoles. My favorite is to find an Xbox game that says only on Xbox, or same thing with PlayStation. But PS2 for sure. I think I just surpassed over like 250
Nice
physical copies. That sounds about right. Now I gotta look it up.
My PS2 numbers have fluctuated over the years because
Yeah.
I've twice now gone through and like got rid of shovelware and then started collecting again and God, now I'm gonna thin it out again. I feel like my PS2 collection right now is the strongest it's ever been in terms of like quantity and what I love, and yeah, it's sitting around like the 500 mark, but everything's complete, black label copies, and, you know, subsets are filled out, and I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, that's a pretty healthy number for a curated collection. I'm not even. I mean, I think I'm probably at like 150 or something like that for my PS2 games.
Nice.
Not a lot, but it's all prime stuff. Like Figsy said, I've purged my collection so many times because if you can't tell, I'm pretty much out of space. Like it's over. Like I'm like doubling up on my Switch games down here. I've doubled up on my PS4 games. It's like it is what it is. I need a bigger house. I got nothing. I'm not stopping collecting. That's just not possible. So, but yeah, so I've had to go through and like multiple times just purge because I need room for more games. So you end up cutting the ones that you're like kind of cool, kind of like, and you just end up with the cream of the crop kind of. So yeah, that's sweet.
And I'm very careful to like not. I'm very careful to not bring on duplicates of games.
Yeah, me too. Huh?
Good one, Joe.
Like I'll check my app first. I'll check my list of whatever I have. If I see something that's even if it's a good price, I'll still usually pass. I like the one. It's like just having that one. It makes it more valuable to me to just have like that one copy. I mean, if it's Rule of Rose, I'm gonna pick up a second one, you know. But
if it's cheap, yeah.
But you're probably gonna turn around and sell it or trade it and make money out of it. You know, you're not putting two of them on the shelf next to each other.
I honestly I don't flip my games like hardly ever. In fact, I think it was when I got my first PS3, that's when I stopped trading in games altogether. It was anything from PS3 and up, I kept. Or unfortunately, maybe it lent to a friend and I never got it back or something. But other than that,
that's the worst is when you open a game and you're like, "Where's my game?" And you're just like, "Did someone borrow this 6 years ago?" Like,
your heart like sings.
Yeah, well, a lot of the times it's I have like 3 PS2s and 3 PS3s, and I'm like, it's probably in one of them. I have to find it somewhere. I've had that happen, or I just put it in the wrong case, and I
generally can't say I've had that problem. I'm so OCD that it goes in the case the second it goes out and then goes right back in the shelf where it was in the alphabetical order.
So sometimes I'll have like a little stack of games in front of the TV, and I'll be like just swapping the discs around and not really paying attention what I'm doing. And then like 6 months later, my family will come over and I'm like, I just got to put this back. And then it gets lost in the shuffle. And then what happens? Like it's so funny. I had like the Samurai Showdown anthology on PS2 and like, I was not in the case. And I'm like, I have to have it. Like, there's no way I got rid of it. And I finally found it in like a Capcom case, like 6 months later. I was like, yes, I knew it.
Were you happy or were you just disappointed in yourself, Jeff?
Oh no, I was very happy to find it because it's one of those things too. It was funny because like Limited Run, or I can't remember. There's a bunch of people that were like re-releasing a bunch of Samurai Showdown games, like 5 and all this other stuff, and they were like selling them as individual releases for $30 or $40 or whatever. But this PS2 compilation's like $15. It's got every Samurai Showdown game on it from like 1 to 6. It's like, why? All right, why would I? What's going on here? Like the PS2 compilations just were so good compared to what we get nowadays. Like nowadays, we get like one old game for $40.
They're literally filling up like 0.1% of the space of the Blu-ray.
Yeah, and they're charging you $40. And back in the day, you would have got for $20, like 40 games. Like it was just like a bunch of arcade games, it was it's crazy.
And if they didn't fit on the DVD, guess what? They sent you had 2 discs in there. Well, some games had 4 discs because that's just what they did back in the day.
Yeah.
So I feel like at least now we're slightly maybe moving in that direction. I feel like some companies are finally pulling their heads out of their asses and realizing that physical collectors are going to cry and whine. Not like we would ever do that. And like they're doing that. So like not all of them, but like, you know who I was really impressed with was the Baldur's Gate release that they just came out with, that new deluxe. Yeah, that's like that company. I'm pretty happy with how they handled everything about that game. I think I talked about it before, but like it came out on release and it worked.
What's the company's name? Larian Games?
Larian, something like that. Yeah.
Larian Studio. So they come out and they posted on their Twitter that said, anyone who hasn't got a copy, just go on the website, put your email in, and we'll send you an alert when they're back in stock. They said they're not going to stop printing them where people want them. So like, they're selling on eBay for like $300-$400, but just go on their website. If you're in Europe, you can reorder them right now. If you're in North America, you can, but Asia and Oceania are still like waiting on the emails. So yeah, they're going to keep printing these, which is so cool, you know.
It's the first time in a while I felt like a company was like, we actually really care about our customers. And I just haven't gotten that feeling from AAA gaming studios in a long time. I get the exact opposite. They go, you are a money bag and we're going to suck you dry, pay pig. Play our game. Like they literally treat you like a freaking ATM machine. It's not the same, man. Like, but these guys, like I said, the game
here, Joe, is it's actually their game. Most of these companies aren't selling their game; they're just selling someone else's game that they got the rights to. You know,
just publishing.
Limited Run made all their games. They would probably care a little bit more about them and sell them working, etc. You know.
Speaking of Limited Run, I do have a topic I wanted to bring up. So, it's interesting. I saw on Twitter that the shmup Mushi. Oh my goodness, Mushi Shimi Shami Yami Mushi. Mushihami Sami Sami. I can't say it without looking at it. It's called Mushi. Do you know that? Not Mushoff on the Genesis. It's Mushi. It's a cave shooter. Anyway, it's one of the best cave shmups ever, in my opinion. And it got released at first physically to just limited run games on the Switch. I mean, you can get it on the Xbox 360. It had like an old release, but on modern consoles, it was just physically from limited run games on the Switch. And I saw that it's getting delisted from the eShop on the Switch soon because the license is running out. So my first instinct, I was going to come on the show and be like, hey, everybody, you should go out and get that limited run copy while you can, because it's going to get really expensive as soon as it gets delisted. And that's probably true. It'll probably get pretty expensive. But then like an hour later, I go on Twitter and I look, and there's a company in Europe that's publishing Mushi, Dodonpachi, Radiant Silvergun, and Escaluda. Like all of the cave shmups that just came out from limited run that are all like super expensive, they're all getting a PAL release soon.
Are they going to be individual?
Retail. Yeah, just retail individual releases for those games. They're coming out in PAL territories.
Sweet.
Yeah, exactly. So I was going to come on here and tell everybody, get the game before it's too late, but I as well just wait for the cheap PAL copies if you guys are interested.
Well, they might just be half the price. These games, because they're getting retail releases, they'll get cheaper over time because that's how retail games go majority of the time, assuming they got enough copies to supply demand, etc. So that's how most retail games go. You'll be able to pick it up on clearance down the line at some point. It doesn't happen with limited run games.
It's just another one of those things where it's like these limited run games, they aren't limited at all. They're just not limited at all, man. Like they're going to get released 12. If you just are patient, just wait. You'll get a cheaper Asian copy, a cheaper PAL copy. Like it's just nuts, man.
You missed the PS4 version. Just get the PS5 version in a couple of years. Blah blah blah.
Yep.
They did announce the title today that I'm interested in, but I'm a bit disappointed. It was Tumba, the PS1 title, but it's just Tumba 1, not Tumba 1 and 2. Like it's a PS1 game. They fit them both in there.
Lump it together.
Because they're doing 2 separate. They did announce they're doing 2 as well, but it's going to come out as a separate release. That's another thing that drives me crazy about them.
From a financial perspective, but they don't have to do that, do one release, and you might get more people buying it, which is more fans in the long run who will spend more money. Rather than, would you rather have 100 people buying your products or 50 people buying 2 of them? 100 people buying them is better in the long run for you. That they're going down the route of let's just milk our audience. Like, I recently bought that Castlevania Advanced Collection, and it's like, which version do I buy? I only want one. There's like 4 variants. They're all different. Like, I don't know. I didn't know which one to buy. It felt weird buying it. I'm like, is this the right one to buy? I'm not buying all 4.
Yeah, that's what I did. Because I couldn't decide. I was having like the same problem. I'm just like, yeah. I hope Alan Wake 2 gets a wide release with the DLC, not just LRG. I know. We'll see. So I've heard that even the physical that's coming out isn't like all the DLC, as far as, and I could be wrong. I haven't looked at it in a couple weeks. But the last I heard was that Alan Wake 2, I think is there an Xbox version or something? I can't remember. But I heard that the physical copy has the game on it and like 1 DLC, but like not the other one or something like that, which is kind of irritating.
I mean, the issue of Alan Wake 2 is the developer didn't want a physical. Like, if the developer doesn't care, then you're relying on someone else to do it. And, like, when you look at the Baldur's Gate situation, that's never going to happen. When the developer wants to put the physical out, it's going to be as nice. They waited until, all the patches and all the DLC was out. And they ensured that it all fit on the disc. Like, the Xbox version has 4 discs. 2024. They're sending out 4 discs, so you have a complete copy of the game. Like, that is insane to me. In the age where they could have easily just done a download code and no one would have even complained, because we're in the age where that's just acceptable in collector's editions and shit, But they didn't do that, and then that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm hoping that people like me and people like you and all of us old-timey physical collectors are having an impact. Like, I feel like right now, especially, the video game industry seems like they're struggling a bit, and turning off your customers is just not the greatest thing to do. So I think that putting in the extra effort to make things good is definitely the way to go. What was I going to say? So, like, gosh, man, speaking of like physical disc and physical collecting, you guys saw that the Xbox subscriptions were raised.
Yeah, I was just about to say that leads us into that point. Yeah, I was going to say Xbox is now what, $240 USD for a year.
So there's 2 tiers, as far as I hear. They're going to do it. There's like a cheaper tier now that doesn't give you access to day 1 releases for games, and then there's a more expensive tier that does give you access to day 1 games, which is kind of a little counterintuitive to I thought what Game Pass was supposed to be. But I mean, I guess it's sort of like how streaming services will introduce that cheaper ad-supported tier or whatever.
From a user perspective, if I was using it, which I'm not, but say I didn't have a game collection and that was my source of games, I would use the cheaper subscription unless a title that I wanted to play came out. So, like, say I was a COD fan and the new Black Ops came out, I would change subscriptions that month until that game got ported over onto the second subscription. But, yeah, I can see, like, these people are going to be spending hundreds of dollars a year. And that's, if you're spending $300 a year on a game subscription, you're not going to be going out buying games because you're already spending hundreds of dollars. You might need to buy a controller every year. And, like, that's a lot of money for some people who aren't like us, spending hundreds of dollars every month on video games. So the average person doesn't want to spend more than $1,000 a year on video games. Like,
I spend way more than that.
The average gamer won't do that. Well, the average person has a console, 10, 15, 20 games, maybe. Like, not like us with thousands of video games.
I just don't understand. Do people like just not understand value of their money? Because I like all that money I spend on my games, like it's right there.
Yeah,
it's still here. I still have it. It might maybe have some games have gone down, some games have gone up, but the point is, like, I still have an investment. I can sell this stuff. And I just don't understand how people could just not care so much. Like, I kind of get it when it's insanely cheap. Like if it's $10 a month, $5 a month. All right. If it's super cheap,
$1 a month.
Yeah, you pay $50 a year, $60 a year. All right, whatever. That's like the price of one game. But what you're paying like $300-$400 plus microtransactions on top of that, you could be spending a couple hundred more. I don't know. And you're not getting anything out of it other than, you know, your entertainment. But I get that, and I can trade and I can sell things, and I can.
At some
upgrade
point,
things.
it's a good value when that new AAA game comes out that you're looking for. It's good value then, but suddenly you're going away for the weekend and you're not playing and you're doing this. You're not getting value out of it then, and you're still paying for it, and you don't own anything. So if you want to play that game in 5 weeks, not 4 weeks, you can play it for 4 weeks. But if you want to play it in 5 weeks, you got to then pay for the subscription again. Or if you want to pay it in 9 weeks, you've had to pay for 3 months. Suddenly you've just paid the price of what it is AAA, and you can't play it after 4 months. Like, you know, I can play it in 4 years.
Xbox is on everything now, though. Like, they even said that they're trying to get Xbox Game Pass on everything that is currently within popularity that has an internet connection, and you can get Game Pass on it. They just announced that you don't even need an Xbox now to play Game Pass. And we've always known as insiders in the video game space that they're losing money on Game Pass. They always have. And console sales is not where it's at. And Xbox is trying to get out of that. Smart TVs now have Game Pass. My son's Oculus has Game Pass. And everyone can afford a smart TV. You can go to Walmart right now and it's like $40 for a 60-inch smart TV. That's going to get Game Pass. And you just have to buy a controller. And then Xbox is going to be like, hey, just like, instead of buying a $500 controller, get a sweet like $150 custom controller through us with your name on it, and then use that to play with your new fancy Walmart TV. And I think it's a smart business move, because my son, my kids' generation coming up, they don't give a shit about physical collection. Like, they love it. They like to brag about it to their friends because they're like, look what I got. But it's like, at the end of the day, they could care less. I even tried bragging to them, like, I don't play Fortnite, but I have 2 copies of Fortnite on PS4. And my kids are like, so what, dude? Nerd? Like, oh, for a free game? Okay. And then it's like,
just wait till they're old enough to realize what eBay is and see sold listings and be like, wait, we have 2 of them.
But my son would be perfectly happy just a bed and a desk with a monitor and his PC, his Xbox, and then an empty landscape in his bedroom to play his Oculus. And if he can get instant access to those games, even better. And I guess everything is so instant that they don't understand the value of the resell aspect of it. It's so much work to resell it. They're
True.
like, I'm going to go put it on eBay and then pay fees and then go to the post office and ship it and then all this and that. It's so many steps. We already lost them at the first step. It's like, you know, they'll probably kick and scream when maybe their favorite game gets delisted. But at that point, like, they have 50 other games to play. And
well, like, it'll be Overwatch, and Overwatch 2 has come out, and their skins have been transferred over anyway, and it's like, oh, I've still got all my old stuff on the new one anyway, you know.
Yeah, but one of the things that I'm curious of how this generation is going to deal with stuff is, like, when we got older and we were starting to feel nostalgic about our childhood, like, we could go out and repurchase it and relive it and experience that stuff again, literally the same way. Like, I could go out and get a PS2 and a CRT and an old controller and a memory card and play the game and have that same experience, that same vibe. But like, these kids nowadays, like, what if, like, you know, your favorite memories were playing Fortnite version 6.2243 or whatever, and now we're on Fortnite version 37. And even if Fortnite exists when they're 45 or whatever, and they want to go play it, is it going to be the same game? Like, can they experience that stuff? Like, or is it just gone forever? And like, I feel like that's when they're going to, like, realize maybe this sucked. maybe this sucked actually because I can't play my old games anymore.
It might
You
be
used a
gone.
wild example, Joe, because Fortnite just like recently brought out version 1.0 again for everyone to read.
Oh gosh.
They like
Warcraft,
hit the highest amount of numbers that they've ever had.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So maybe they will do. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how we're going to handle this stuff in the future, but that's the sort of thing that I think about. Like, because the World of Warcraft tried to do the same thing. They tried because everybody was like, bring out vanilla. They're like, no, silly customers, you don't want to play that old stuff. No. And then everybody played on private servers, and they had to shut it down. They were on Nostalrius, it was called, or whatever. And eventually they were like, whatever, and they just did it. They re-released Classic WoW, but then even then, that wasn't real WoW. That wasn't real vanilla. That was a nerfed, soft, cuddly, easy version of vanilla. That was
I never played WoW before. I
joke.
thought it was just some easy game.
It was a joke, dude. Like literally back in the day in vanilla, it was hard. It was hard, dude. Like you had to actually coordinate and like have a plan and have competent people and do things like strategically, and everyone had to perform at a really high level. And like WoW Classic was like, group them up in AoE, we're done. I'm like, this is lame. This is not what WoW is. And so I was really disappointed. And I remember everyone was on the riding that hype train, and I'm like, this is like a baby version. Like I want the actual game. Like I'd rather have a private server with the way it was tuned in vanilla. So like I said, you never get it. You'll never get what the actual experience. It's like, drives me crazy. It makes me mad.
Yeah, and there a lot of those early versions of those games for my kids, they grew up watching YouTube. They grew up watching their favorite YouTubers and streamers, and all that stuff is now like preserved on YouTube. And really, if they wanted to get a taste of what the first version was like or the second version of something was, they can go back and watch all this documented footage of that, or even record themselves playing it, upload it, or archive it. Obviously it's not the same as experiencing it, and I just don't think that even like games now, like if you were to say, I was huge into Destiny when Destiny came out, but I can't imagine a time, just even the state of how Destiny and PlayStation is handling things now, or I should say Bungie, like I couldn't imagine them ever coming out with a vanilla Destiny 1 experience the way that I experienced it way back when it came out, in like what, almost 10 years ago now. And
Destiny's a 10-year-old game. What?
And now we're at the precipice of the end, and they're about to shut it down. Pull the plug.
Yeah, it all like I played PUBG when it first came out on Xbox.
Yeah.
It's hard to, it was a terrible experience. It crashed 4 times, but the player base was like 10 million for months because it was so much fun. And it's hard to describe to someone fun when it crashes 3 times a game. But I was sitting there playing it 8 hours a day, having the time of my life, and
dealing with it.
like, it was just that experience that, I won a game and I crashed twice, and I'm like, you still won.
You're so lucky.
Or you'd be like running in a circle, and you just see a dude just standing there because his console's crashed, and like the blues caught up with him. You're like, oh no, poor dude. But like that's the experience we all went through, and if you didn't go through it, you can't go on YouTube and watch it and be like, oh, that looks like fun, because it's not viewing fun, Couldn't even record it because you've crashed 3 times.
Really quick, I wanted to. I just realized we're talking about PlayStation and how fans of PlayStation we are. I forgot I actually have the PlayStation buttons tattooed on my knucks.
I got it on my hands,
dude.
Ah, let's go.
Jesus Christ, guys! I have it on my body, but I can't show it. I actually have one tattoo. It's my name, and it's on my ass. I have a J on my left cheek and an E on my right cheek.
No.
And if you want to see it, guys, check out Joe's OnlyFans.
Yeah, right.
You gotta figure out where the O is yourself.
Shameless plug.
Jesus Christ. So another thing that I wanted to kind of point out is that, everybody's like, oh, how could they jack up their prices? And PlayStation did the same thing. They jacked up their prices on their online a few months ago too. And I just want to say, people, like, get used to it. Get used to it, because once there are no more physical games and all there are these stupid subscription services, they'll just be able to jack up the price anytime they want, and you'll have no other options. It'll just be like cable TV. How cable TV used to be $50 a month, then it was $70 a month, then it was $100 a month. All of a sudden, it's $200 a month. It's insane. Like, you're just, Comcast is like, we want $250 a month for what the fuck? It's ridiculous. I know. Ask some like old people how much they pay for TV. You'll be blown away how much they pay for their TV. $200-$300 a month for this shit, and you have no choice, because it's you either pay all of it or you have access to none of it. You know what I mean? Like for those systems. So I don't like that, unless you imagine a future where there's all these competing services, which I don't think so. That'd be like maybe 2, 3 tops. Like, you know what I mean? Sony, Xbox, maybe Steam, done. Like, what else are you going to even have? You think there's going to be a new one that comes up? GOG, maybe?
What really annoys me about Sony is there's no like cheap tier for just online gaming.
Yeah. Yeah.
There isn't just I don't want any free games. Just give me access to online. Games.
I just want to play with my friends. I just want to play online with my friends with the games I already own. Can I please do that without paying $100?
If I want to play online today, unless I'm getting messages from people going, let's play, get back on the old games. Like, I'm playing on PC, because online gaming is free on PC. It always has been. I'm not going to say it always will be, but I can't see Steam ever going, we're going to charge you to play online. No, they're not going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it sounds crazy, but the fact that we got to pay to play online these games that we already own is ridiculous.
And this is one of the things that I think you make a really good point, that it pisses me off that with these subscription services, you're forced to pay for shit you don't want. you don't want. It's exactly like cable TV. So you'd be paying $100-something a month for cable TV, and I'd only watch like 2 of them freaking channels, and all the other ones I couldn't stand them. They not only did I not watch them, I hated them. I disliked them. I wanted their content to go away. I disliked it so much. Like, it used to drive me crazy that if you pay a cable bill, some of that money's going to CNN, MSNBC, Fox News. Fuck those companies. Fuck all of those people. Yeah. Go to hell. I don't want a penny of my money going to those horrible, terrible, awful people. And you're giving them money by paying cable. Even if you don't watch their fucking shit, some of that money goes to them for licensing deals and blah, blah, blah.
2 or 3 channels. There would be like 98 channels you wouldn't touch.
Yeah. And they'd be like, well, it's all included for $120 a month. I'm like, how about $20 a month and I get History Channel and you can just fuck off? Because that's all I'm watching. I'm watching American Pickers, because that's all I used to watch even back then. I used to be like, I'm just obsessed with stuff and collecting, bros. I can't even help it. I watch old dudes collect oil cans. I'm like, oh, neat.
Yes.
I don't mind how it is today. There's, you probably pay more if you want to watch everything. Mm-hmm. But someone like me who's just interested in, say, sport, there's just channels where you just pay for sport and that's what you get. And like, if I had that when I was a kid, that's what my parents would have had, and they would have loved it. But it's like, no, we're not going to get everything, because it's such a waste of money to us these days. But like, you can have this thing over here called KO, and you'll get sport for it's like $20 a month. And it's pretty reasonable.
Yeah, I guess what's kind of cool is like I subscribe to F1 TV, and I have like 4 licenses, and I could pass on the login to my buddies, and we could all watch the race together.
Yeah,
and that's pretty cool. Like, stuff like that is neat. But no, I see what you mean. Like,
and saying that, if you want to watch anything, just go on Twitter and type in the thing when it's live, and type in stream after. You'll find like 100 people on Twitter live streaming it in HD, multiple languages. I woke up the other morning, I'm like, I want to watch the England game. Went on Twitter. Boom, hundreds of streams.
I couldn't help but think that this is like, oh, it's time for Joe's What Really Grinds My Gears segment.
Oh, that's every episode of the show. I get mad about something. But like, so it's the same thing's going to happen though. So like, let's say, right now there's quite a few game companies that I don't like, and they don't like me. And they're very vocal about it. They don't like me as a customer. They don't want me around. They think I'm a bad person because of who I do this for some reason. They just like that's how they are. And I don't want to give them money. And right now, I don't have to buy their games and they can't have any of my money. If I'm going to paying a subscription service, they're getting some of my money. And I don't want them to. I do not want Ubisoft getting my money. I don't want EA getting my money. I don't want Activision Blizzard getting my money. Like, I'm done with these companies. I actively would like to see them go out of business. I do. I think they're horrible people. I think they make horrible games. I think they treat their customers horribly. And I would like to see them pay the consequences for it and go out of business. And I don't want to see them propped up by a subscription service that takes $5 a month from me and gives it to them, even though I don't play their games. So if you guys like want to have purchasing power and influence over the industry about what gets made and what not gets made by buying and not buying stuff, buy physical, because you can pick the games you want and you can pick them up on sale, which is another thing that will not happen as often at all in the digital marketplace. Games will not go on sale as often, and they will not be discounted as much at all, because they never need to clear out inventory ever. There's never a reason to be like, oh, we have 100 of these things. Let's just get them out of here. I'll throw them on sale for $10. It'll just never happen in a digital marketplace because there's no inventory for them to store. They don't care if you buy it or they sell it.
It does happen on Steam. Like, I'll see games that I want to pick up in my collection. Like, it happened the other day with Jurassic World Evolution 2. Like, it's still like a $50 game in the shops. It was like $4 on Steam. I'm like, I'm kind of tempted to buy that. I didn't buy it, but like, you know, that's a good deal. Like, if you're seeing games that are brand new a year or two ago for a couple of dollars, that's where you're going to get people's money. But Xbox and PlayStation aren't doing this. Nintendo definitely aren't doing this. They've got $60 and that's it.
That's the thing that kind of stinks is, like, anytime I feel like I see a game, like, say Steam, I log in, there's like, oh, there's like a sale on this game. My immediate instinct is, I wonder if I can get it cheaper through some other medium, whether it's through PlayStation or if I just, CD keys or whatever. Like, it makes me now start to hunt rather than just feel comfortable with that price, with that sale, knowing damn well that there's another potential. Like, I could save maybe $5, that towards the exact same game. I'd play it on my PC. I wouldn't be missing out on anything. And so it's not on my Steam launcher, or it's not, or maybe it is. Maybe it's an actual Steam key, but it's through CD keys or some other website that offers it for $5, $10 cheaper. And I just hate the feeling of knowing that, like, if I buy this game that's on Steam on my homepage right now that says it's on sale, I'm going to buy it, and then I'm going to feel like a sucker. Like old school Looney Tunes, I'm going to morph into an actual sucker. Like, thinking like, oh, you overpaid just now for that game. Congratulations. The exact same game. If you just spent 2 minutes to just do a couple Google searches. But I'm like, I don't want to do that. And I guess I hate that feeling cheated or feeling like I'm going to miss out.
No, I know that.
I know that feeling. Like, if I see a physical game in the shop for a decent price, usually the first thing I do is look it up to see if I can find it cheaper. If I can't find it cheaper, I might buy it. And, it's no different to, finding something online. But yeah, I'm less willing to spend money online for a digital game than I am a physical game. That's for sure. So thanks for the donation, Mario. I really appreciate it.
I was just gonna say Mario for $10 said, how about I pay for an attachment to PS5? Lets me play my PS1, PS2, and PS3 discs. Wouldn't we all? I would pay good money for that. I'd pay a couple $100.
That never happened. I got a PS3 hooked up. I got a PS2 hooked up. I got a PS5 hooked up.
Duct tape my consoles together.
So,
you can just build your own.
Ooh,
sorry, I don't know if you've been eyeballing this or not, but
yeah, I've been.
It's a PS5 slim case, and what I've done.
Is it a bong? What the fuck?
It's actually a PC.
Wow!
I built a PC inside of a PS5 slim.
That's crazy.
Shell.
It's got PS2 mouse connectors. That's crazy.
Where?
Isn't that a PS2 connection? That purple and green thing or whatever? Know what it's called?
Oh, down here?
No, up the top. It's like the old mouse connection.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I just haven't seen it. Wow. It's been a minute.
It came from an old. This is a motherboard from an old desktop PC, like one of the slimmer versions, and it was right around the time that I was going down this rabbit hole of like building consoles inside of, or building PCs inside of old retro consoles like Xboxes and GameCubes, and I love that stuff. Like, I didn't mention that before, but like I love to tinker and electronics and soldering and all that stuff.
Oh,
so
that's
like
cool.
modding things is like a daily struggle to just catch sleep, because I'm like, oh, I gotta mod this and do that. But it was right around that time I was in that rabbit hole. My buddy's like, yo, I accidentally bought 2 PS5s and Sony realized their mistake and they bricked one. Do you want it? Because it's useless. I'm like, yeah, hell yeah. I'm going to build a PC inside of it. And then an opportunity came up. I had an old PC, made it happen.
So wait a minute. So he ordered one and they sent him 2 on accident and the Sony killed one of them?
Yeah. So like it was maybe,
what a wild business model.
Why would they just let him keep it?
it?
What the hell, man? Like,
Yeah.
either ask for it back or just let him keep it. Like, dude, what the hell, man?
yeah. So they did. So he got both. He accidentally ordered 2. I guess, it was 2021 at the time when like
It's hard to get them.
the internet, you clicked on submit or checkout, and then it placed the order for 2, and he only paid for 1, but Sony realized that they fulfilled 2, and so they were like, hey, send it back or we're gonna brick it or charge you. If you're gonna keep it, we'll charge you. So he was like, I'm gonna keep it. And then they bricked it. So
why do you hook it up to the internet? Screw that.
You can't, I guess. Like, it's like
offline. Like, you try to brick it.
like the IP address or something.
PS5 without hooking it up to the internet.
The new one, I think you have to, but I don't think the old one you do. I think the Slim you do to to register
Well, my
the disk
brother just
drive or
picked up
some crap
the
like that.
He didn't have the internet. Wasn't able to set it up.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe the initial setup you do. I don't know. I don't think so. I figured like I would have heard more people freaking out about that if you had to have an internet connection for the original PS5, because everyone was flipping out about it for the Slim. So
I think you have to hook it up to install or to get your username or your Sony account for like the trophies.
that makes sense.
So with the Slim, the disk drive won't work without internet connection. My brother just had cookies up and he like called me. He's like, the disk drive isn't working, and we Googled it and found out that it has to be hooked up to the internet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to register your drive. That's why like there was a lot of people who are preservationists and stuff. They were saying that they hated the Slim because in the future, if they ever shut off the registration service, you can't use it. So that's kind of dumb. I mean, the very idea that you have to register your disk drive is stupid, but that's another thing about the all digital future I hate. It's like everything's tracked, everything's like I said, hooked up to their systems, and they can brick your system and shit like that. Like, what? Like, I get that scenario you just mentioned, but like just the fact that a company can access your hardware and remotely destroy it is insane. That is madness. Imagine Steam is just like, we're destroying your computer.
We've infected your environment because you illegally downloaded a game.
That's just
destroyed your $5,000 PC because you'd like illegally downloaded a $20 game.
Yeah, the whole concept, like I don't like these companies having this much power and access over you, which is why I don't like the all digital service. So like, let's say you don't own any games. The only option you have to play games, if you want to play games, is these sub services. And what if they're just like, well, from now on, every day, if you want to turn on your console, you got to get in front of this eye camera that we have installed, and you have to do the truffle shuffle. Do it, bitch. Do it, bitch. You want to play games? Do it. No truffle shuffle. No games. They can do whatever they want. You have no power as the consumer at that point. You are 100% at their will and their whims. And as time goes on, it seems to me that people are just getting stupider, dumber, and less cool across the board. Everybody's just becoming more of a prick. So I don't want these people to have all this control. For me, it's never going to be a problem, because if I got banned off of everything, I have games for the rest of my life. I don't need them forever. And that's another thing that like I think the industry itself is gonna it's gonna have some problems because like I'm at a point now where like I have no reason I need to buy new games. None. I don't need any new games for the next 20 years and I'll never run out of things to play. So if I'm going to buy new games, it's just because I want to and I really am interested in it. And if these games just keep getting more and more expensive and have more microtransactions and they always have to be online and they all require digital download, if the crappier they get, the less motivated I am to buy them. So I don't know, man. Like, you know, people say the game industry is going to crash, but like I think it's gonna because it's just oversaturated and like you can go out right now and just be like, I want to buy PS4 games and you're good. You can collect for the rest of your life. You don't need to buy anything else. You could just go out and buy PS4 games from now to the end of time and be good. So I don't know, man. I just think that they have a big hill to climb to try to secure new business and new customers. They don't got me, I'll tell you that. And I don't buy anything new. I buy it on sale. Like I don't ever buy anything new. So they're screwed. I don't know what they're going to do.
Something that you were talking about, Joe, that's kind of already happening. Heard that YouTube have introduced a new thing that is using facial recognition to, when people are watching ads, if you don't watch an ad for a certain duration, it's coming up with a message saying you didn't watch the ad. You have to like have eye recognition on the ad for a certain duration, and the ad replays.
Yeah, go to hell.
Like,
go to
yeah,
hell,
that's
dude.
the world that we're coming into. And then there's talks of like the new EAFC game having ads inbuilt into the game, and
Yep.
we're going to be going into this future where it'll be like a loading screen, but it'll be an ad, and you have to watch it. Otherwise, they'll replay it, or like they'll force you to watch it, things like that. It's like, you know, like they'll be able to do that.
It's funny you mentioned like how you don't buy new games. So
I do, but like when they're on sale, or I'll show a couple that I bought. There's a couple that I do because I'll show you. I'll explain.
So like my genuine interest for like a brand new title that I absolutely have to play day one, like that interest has dwindled, I'd say, over the past couple of years. I'll mark my calendar on my phone exactly like when like I'm really excited for this game launch or like a movie release or something. But like now I'm noticing that they're few and far between. The last one was Helldivers. And that was back in January or no, February. February. But like even like that game was like to me, that was a niche game because I played the original one and loved it. And didn't even think anyone was going to give a shit about the new Helldivers. All of a sudden, it's like big news.
Believe it.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it either. Like,
You picked a good one to play. I think my last one was Hogwarts Legacy.
Everyone's like, "What the fuck is Helldivers 1?" Like, why did I miss this?
So it's funny when Helldivers 2 blew up in popularity. I was like, I should pick up a copy of Helldivers 1, and they were insanely expensive. Like they were so expensive. And I just checked the other day, and they've kind of like come back to reality.
Really?
So like, yeah. So you can get a used copy for like $40, but that's one of those games that comes with DLC codes.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're not getting the codes like 90% of the time. So if you want a brand new copy, they're still kind of expensive. Like the ESRB one's going for like 80 to 100 still, but the PAL copy is like 50, 60 or something like that. So
it would have been like a $10 shovelware title.
Oh, it was wicked cheap.
Yeah.
It was. I looked at it. I'm kicking myself because it was on sale for like $20 before it got blew up. Like you just go on Amazon, buy it for $20. Like I had no idea that I even wanted that game until that. But yeah,
see, I've had my copy of Helldivers only because, like, for a long time, only because like it was a niche game, and I have fond memories of like actually like playing that game with my wife and my friends, like just killing each other. Right? It was like almost the same transition into the second one, and I bought it for pennies because it was just like, oh, I love this. This is memories, but it's so funny. Like I never expected a game like that. And then Dead Island 2 was another just huge. Like I loved Dead Island, and then that particular franchise with Riptide and all. And I was there I remember the day that they announced at E3 that they dropped the Dead Island 2 trailer, where everyone thought it was Jack Black as a voice actor, and super psyched. And I was like, I pre-ordered the game, and every other year I go into GameStop and they'd be like, "You still got that copy of fucking Dead Island 2, bro?" I'm like, shut up, bro. It's gonna come out, right? And then
took forever.
Yeah.
Forever for that game to come out. I didn't think it would ever come out. That was one of those games. It's like Metroid Prime 4. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Sea of Thieves. I mean, there's a few games that, like, by the time it comes out, people just don't care anymore.
Gran Turismo 7 was big. Like, it's just like it was like blockbuster, like big titles now that don't like. I'm not a Call of Duty guy. I don't buy all the Call of Duties or Battlefields anymore. Like it's like this has become now like a holy crap. They're actually making a sequel to the game that I loved from forever ago or whatever, and that's what I get excited about now.
So, I mean, one of the only reasons to buy like a new game like that is if it's a multiplayer game and you want to play with your friends. That I'm just like, so like I said, there's not, I do buy new games sometimes if I'm really hyped or if I have a reason to, and that's an excellent reason to. For example, like when the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game comes out or any of those horror survival games come out, like if you want to play them, you have to buy them when they're new, because if you wait and you would get it cheap, no one's playing them by the time you go to play it, and it's not fun. There's literally you'll just sit all day waiting for a match, and it never it takes forever, and then you finally start a match, 3 people leave. It's like, oh god.
Well, those games are $5 because you can't get a server anymore, and that's why they're on the clearance rate. But single player games have almost got the opposite of things. For a single player game, you'll get the worst experience if you play it. You miss out on all the DLC, you'll miss out on all the patches. If you wait 12 months on an RPG, you get the Game of the Year edition, you get all the patches, you play the game the way it's meant to be played, and you pay a third of the price. Like,
have you taken a look at what Fallout New Vegas is going for?
It's
right now.
It's ridiculous.
It's
like $150.
Really?
Yeah,
like,
it's ridiculous.
Wow.
So even for that free Game of the Year edition, not the regular one, it's expensive, but the Game of the Year edition was like close to $200.
Really? Well, good God, I am glad I bought those games a long time ago for $5. It's
because the show came out and everyone's like, "Oh shit, it's set in the new Vegas universe." They said it, and then now everyone's like, it's the same thing happened with Last of Us. Last of Us used copies went up through the roof, and that game actually sold more. It had like the biggest resurgence in copies, I guess, whenever. But like, yeah, Fallout comes out, and all of a sudden, this game that you could get easily used was $5-10, and now you're lucky to pay under 50.
It didn't just have a platinum version; it's also got greatest hits, which means it sold not just 500,000 copies; it sold 1 million copies. So, like, there's endless amounts of copies out there, you know.
Yeah. You're telling me that my Fallout 3 Game of the Year edition right there is worth $200?
Yeah. Oh, I think it. I was at GameStop.
Australian eBay. I don't know about it.
How much is the digital copy selling for these days?
Steam. I think I saw Fallout 4 for like upwards of $30-40 on Steam. Yeah. But
how
it was
much
like,
can you sell that for on eBay?
If it's on my Steam Deck,
I can sell my copy apparently for $200, but I guess I'm a stupid person because I like physical media. I love, and you know what, dude? What is with all the people online who are like, why would you want physical media? It's so stupid. There's no point. You're a loser. Why would you do that? Like, there's so people who are like mad that you buy physical games. Like, they're like, I swear to God, what it is they make terrible purchasing decisions. They know they've made a terrible purchase decision, and they don't want to admit that. So they want to make it seem like you're dumb because they're fucking stupid. That's pretty much what it comes down to. And like another argument that I'm so sick of seeing, like I see it all the time, is that people are like, well, you don't own the games anymore. There's nothing on the disc. It's blah, 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 blah. And it's like, dude, that's such a myth. That is not true.
They tried doing that with Spyro.
some games are like that. What you're talking about is AAA games. These big giant game companies suck. Yeah, they do that. But if you like indie games, 99% of them are fully complete on the disc. Like on my collection of games, I would say like 90% of them are playable without a download and with no internet. Because I look that up and I care and I make sure that I'm not buying stuff that requires a download or requires that. But like, I'm so sick of hearing that, dude.
Like, I reckon half the games I play require like downloads before I even play them.
Some of them.
It's becoming more and more frustrating. Like, I just went to play Liza P the other day. I couldn't play it. I got to wait for the installation to go, then the download to go, and it's like, all right, sweet. This is a physical game. Like the download on my PC was quicker than downloading the patch on the PlayStation for the full game.
Mm-hmm.
Make that make sense, you know.
Yeah,
I know what you mean about like the indie titles, but games that I'm playing, I'm noticing more and more that
the AAA titles. You play a lot of AAA titles, though.
Yeah, I do play a lot of AAA titles, but if I'm playing them in the future, I want these games to be complete. It's just like I'm not going to buy a game for good money if it's not complete on the disc because it doesn't make any sense to me. It's just like, you know, it sucks.
It does suck, and sometimes you got to be really patient. Like, for instance, I'm like pretty irritated that the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC didn't come on the disc of the new release for Elden Ring. Like, that's just stupid. And so that's fine. I just won't buy it, and I'll wait, and I'll wait, and I'll wait, and hopefully there'll be a Game of the Year edition at some point that'll put it on a disc. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna have to do. Just have to wait.
I bought it digitally, and it is one of the best DLCs.
I know.
It was worth money.
I want it so bad. I can't even tell you how jealous I am.
Have you played the game, though, Joe?
What's up? The first game? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, one of the complaints about the DLC is you can't play it until you're 70 hours into the game.
Do you have to beat the actual last boss in the first game to play it?
No, you have to beat Radahn and Morg.
Okay, I beat him. Okay, cool. Because I ruined my game. Like, I screwed my game up real bad. Like, I mean, I could fix it, but like, I went for some build.
Respec, so you can fix everything.
I have to respec and go with a different build. I went for a specific build, and like, by the time I got to the last two pieces that I needed to complete it, like, I had screwed up the story, and like the boss wouldn't spawn because I didn't do it right. Because like, I didn't follow any guides at all when I played that game, which I'm happy I did, but I also kind of regret because the actual experience was incredible, dude. Like, I had so much fun playing that game, not knowing what I was doing, because the sense of exploration that I got from that game was amazing. Like, that game is the best game I've ever played for, hey, what's this over here? And then 3 hours later, you're like in this crazy dungeon 50 miles deep under the ground fighting this insane god. You're like, what happened? All I did is I saw a shiny penny down the road. I don't know how I ended up there.
Not even just that, like moments where you look at the map and you're like, I want to get to this area. And you just look at the map and you're like, what if I go down that path? Because that path kind of follows it on the map. And you do it. And you get to that area you've been looking for and you're like, I went to that. And it's like, mind-blowing. I generally think you played it right. The way I played Elden Ring was the same. But I then restarted the game with a guide.
That's what I want. That's what I need to do.
And I did 100% every single item, every single dungeon, every single blah, blah, blah. I got all the trophies, blah, blah, blah. 100% agree with you. Like, I relate Tis the Kingdom to Elden Ring because it was the same experience. Like, if you've seen something in the game, you could go there. And it might take you 5 hours, it might take 50 hours, but eventually, you're like with the thing in the sky that you see at the start, or you're at that big tower that you see that you didn't think you could get to, or like Elden Ring, you get to the tree that you see from the start, 100 hours in. It's just like a mind-blowing experience. Dark Souls 1 was the biggest, like, oh my God moment for me in that game. Because that game is, like, the world is so tiny. It's all just interwoven together, and like, you'll go through a door in Dark Souls 50 hours in the game, and you've literally just walked into, like, the starting area. And you're like, oh, that was that locked door from 50 hours ago, and now it's just giving me a shortcut to this. And there's no fast travel in that game until you get to, like, the halfway point, so it really uses, like, shortcuts. And, yeah, it's cool. It's hard to not put fast travel in a video game and keep it modern because players are just used to it.
So I've had an interesting experience lately. So I'm like one of those people, like I kind of prefer older game design that's a little more cryptic. It doesn't hold your hand so much. But I played the new System Shock. Have you guys played that game or whatever? Dude, it doesn't tell you what to do at all. Like literally, it does. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm like I'm figuring things out, and it's wicked fun, but it is difficult. And so I'm having this experience where I'm like, I'm having fun, and I do really like this, but I kind of do miss having a little arrow that tells me where the fuck to go because I am lost. And like, it's one of those games too where it's like they give you like 6 bullets and 3 health packs for the whole game. Good luck. It's like there's no like I literally have been running around with like no ammo for like an hour, like with nothing, no bullets for anything, and I don't know. It's like, dude. So I don't know. I do like it, but I don't know. Maybe
it looks cool.
Dude,
I'm gonna try it because I feel like I prefer those type of games. Like, if the game isn't holding my hand, I get satisfaction out of working things out, and that's what I like.
So, what you have to do is like throughout the whole game, there are voice recordings and like little like these little memory USB sticks with little like text boxes and stuff, and you know, it was one of those things you pick them up and you're like, I'll listen to it later or whatever. No. You need to like every single one of those that you find, you need to listen to immediately, and you need to actually pay attention to what it says. So that's what's kind of cool about it. It's like an old school RPG, like an old school role-playing game. Like there'd be like an old dude in the corner of a village who would say something like, look below the tree at midnight. And you'd be like, what the fuck does that mean? And then you'd have to go find whatever tree he was talking about and find what that is. You know what I mean? It wouldn't really tell you. This game is kind of similar to that, where it'll just be like, you'll listen to a message and it'll be like, we were trying to eject this shield and we weren't able to because the door was locked. But it would be really cool if we could do that. And I'm like, all right, I need to figure out how to eject the shield. And you have to write that down because that you need to go do that at some point. Like it's really crazy. So it's fun though. I've gotten stuck and unstuck like 3 times so far. And but when you finally get unstuck and you figure something out, you feel like a genius. I don't know how to describe it. I'm like, yes, something happened. The door opened. I can leave. Yes, it's like so exciting, dude. Like
I just had the same feeling playing the Elden Ring DLC. Like, you know, I got stuck so many points. It's like I've beaten all the bosses. You know, it's just like I just can't work out where to go, and it's just, you know, going back through all those levels that you've already done. And oh, this guy was too hard to beat 30 hours ago. Let's try him again. You kill that guy, and you realize that he dropped the key to the door that was over here, and suddenly it like unlocks a new area. And yeah, it's just like I love doing that. I feel like I'm on the last boss right now. I haven't actually attempted him, but I know that he's hard, so I'm like, I need to be in the right. All right, I've got 3 hours of gaming time. It's time to beat this boss. But I feel like I've done everything else in the DLC. And I'm up to the point where I have to now get a guide and be like, did I actually fight all the bosses? Did I like miss an entire area? Because that happens in most games as well.
Oh, easily. Especially in that game. That's what I mean. Like that game was like you said, there'd be like this little area on the map and you're like, oh, I wonder what's over here. But it's actually like an elevator that goes underground and there's like a 50 freaking mile long cave that you go through. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe I would have missed this whole thing.
It's 40 hours of content. Or the game puts the best boss behind like all these secrets that to even get there, like good luck without a guide. And that's the best boss in the game. You know, you don't have to beat this boss for the story. So what I like about those type of games, that they're not afraid to put their content behind, you know, you have to play 120 hours to even get to this, where normal games would be like, this is our best boss. It's on the front cover. The whole game is about fighting this thing. We're not going to make you miss it.
One of the things about System Shock that I like is that like, so when it gives you like items and it doesn't tell you what to do with them, and you just kind of have to like know they're important. And so, for example, like I found this corpse on the ground, and I was able to pick up his head. And I'm like, why can I hold this guy's head? Why can I hold this guy's head? I've seen thousands of corpses, and I haven't been able to hold anybody's head. So I'm like, you know what? This head has got to be important. I don't know why, but it has to be. And so I kept it in my bag for like, 2 days or whatever. And I finally got to this point where it's like, you got to get in this door. And the only way you can do it is you got to scan your eyeball. And I'm like, I got a head. Let's go. And I freaking got right in. And I was like, yes, like that sort of feeling is so satisfying. When like you don't know what you're doing, but you still figure out what to do. Like, I don't know. I just love that old game design, man. It's so cool. And like nowadays, you just would never get that. It's not like that. Modern day gamers, they're not going to put up with that. If they can't figure out what to do within 30 minutes, they're just going to quit the game and stop playing. So,
no, it's true. Like modern gamers, I guess when I say modern gamers, how would you define like a modern gamer in terms of like age range or?
Not necessarily, because you could be a younger person and play retro all the time, and I wouldn't consider you a modern gamer. I personally, for me, a modern gamer is someone who thinks microtransactions are fine. Like anyone who thinks that's just like normal, you're a modern gamer. Like anyone who's like, I'm gonna buy a hat and I'm gonna buy a skin and I'm gonna buy some level upgrades, and that's normal to you, you're a modern gamer. You're not an old school gamer, because like old school gamers, that is preposterous to me. It's just ludicrous. I'm like, I'm not paying for a fucking hat. What are you, nuts? I'm not paying for a skin. That's stupid. I get it if you want to look cool in front of people, but even in World of Warcraft, I never fucking did that shit. I didn't buy those mounts they sold or any of that crap. No way, dude. Everything in that game that looked cool is because I killed something and I got it. That's the only reason I had it. I don't know. Yeah, they're more consumers. Yeah.
So I grew up. It's interesting you played WoW. I was in the Guild Wars camp.
I like Guild Wars too.
All through high school, crush just nonstop Guild Wars. Probably since like the year of release, I'd say, and played it for almost 10 years. And it's games like that where you're like, I pick up everything, and games, especially like any game I play that has any type of hoarding or looting or anything like that, like I pick up everything. So like it was cool to hear about your head scanning, because those moments I feel like are very few and far between, where you actually do have something of value that doesn't exactly make itself known that this is valuable or this is going to help you, but
you're smart enough not to throw it away.
Yeah. Tuck it away for
a rainy day. Why is Fallout the best hoarders game of all time? Because every single item in that game gets used. There isn't one item in Fallout 4 that isn't wasted. Like you recycle.
I love it.
That game. Which meant when I'm playing, I go out with like the least amount of inventory I could. I would pick up everything. When my backpack's full, back to the base, put it all away in its like little spots. Everything had its own spot. So then get back out to collect again, and that's how I would play Fallout 4.
You load into Sanctuary for the first time, and then you just demolish that whole city or that whole neighborhood.
I picked the island, and there's like a little island, you can make a base there. That island was like a fucking city.
The one with the castle? Was that the one?
No, it's just an empty island. I ended up making filled the entire island up with a base. Yeah, took way too much time in that game. I had like every single bobblehead put in a collection.
That's so fun though.
It's how I live my everyday life. Like I collect consoles, I collect games, I collect. I was collecting Pokemon cards again during the whole goddamn boom, and there's everything. I collect everything. VHS. I collect Aquaman figures, specifically like figures, collectibles, you name it. I have a whole hallway full of just.
Oh, do you? So I'm scared, man.
Yeah,
I'm if I get into one, if I buy one, I'm gonna buy 100 of them. That's just how I am. I got the bug. I'm like addicted to collecting, and it's funny that you mentioned that about Fallout. When I played Skyrim, dude, I spent like I don't know, at least 100 hours just collecting books. You know how you could have the books and you could have like the series, volume 1, volume 2. I literally made sure I had like every volume of every book perfectly lined up and all my. So you know you can buy houses in that game.
You put them on the shelves. Yeah.
Yep. So I would, every time I would get a new house, I would like stop playing Skyrim for like a month, and all I would do is go out and get shit from my house, and I'd get skulls, and I'd put skulls all over my house everywhere. Like that was my favorite thing to do, and just decorate it and make it look badass. And I just love doing that, dude.
Section like one chest is just for your medicines, and one chest is just for swords, and one chest is just for shields. And every time I got back to the base, everything goes in this little section. And, you never use any items in the game. Like I got every single medicine that I've ever had since I started to play the game, and I'm like fighting bosses with no health and dying.
You're like, I'm gonna need that potion someday. I can't use it now.
But it backfired because I played on PS3. The game file got corrupted because I had too many items, and my save got too big, and I couldn't play it anymore.
What's up, Reggie?
Reggie wants to know when you cut your hair.
Dude, I cut my hair a little over a year ago. I did a bunch of changes like a year ago. Like a year ago was when I was like really up there in Twitch, and I did this whole rebranding where my whole shtick was I went into space and I was taking the live stream up into space. So I was like wearing NASA stuff forever, and then I got this whole space chest neck piece. I mean, I love space and astrology, so like that's, for real, like that's my thing. But it was like I was encompassing my whole life around it, and it was right at that time when I got real burnt out. I even made like a space movie, like a theatrical trailer of me like saying goodbye to my family, and then actually like me going into space. It was the best thing I ever did. And then like I burnt myself out, and I was recently had been diagnosed with ADHD, and I was making all kinds of changes. I'd actually quit drinking, so I've been sober for over a year.
Nice.
And that was like around the time I lopped all my hair off, mostly because I bleached it and it was falling out, and I was freaking out because I was like 34, so I was like, this is about time to keep my hair.
Know the feeling, friend. The airline is not getting any better.
Did this whole transition and everything, and so a lot of really good things like came from cutting the hair, and just in that year time span got more heavily tattooed and collected a lot more things. I even like took everything down in here, things and anyone who's had a massive collection or like a big gaming setup knows you spend a lot of time and effort putting it all together. For all to have to like take it down and go like redo it, it was a real big shift.
Oh, I feel that.
Yeah.
I can redo that again.
I could not imagine packing any of this up now. Like, I couldn't. Like, all my monitors, like, it looked like the Matrix up in here, like the way I had my old setup, where he has all the monitors, which was kind of low key, like the inspiration. So, like, one of my favorite movies.
That type of stuff, I ended up selling most of my monitors, and then I just rebought them all again. Like, it cost me a bit of money, but same with the shelves. Like, every single shelf you see behind you is new. I sold all the shelves.
Ooh.
Because I weighed it up. I looked into the cost of hiring a truck, which was, it ended up costing me close to $5,000 if you include fuel and insurance and everything into it. Or a removalist is going to be close to $15,000. So it's like, if I want to take all the furniture, I need to pay $15,000. But let's weigh up the cost of selling it all, rebuying it all, and it was way cheaper. I probably spent $2,000 or $3,000 to rebuy all the shelves, rebuy all the monitors.
Yeah, and you get all new stuff.
Yeah, and get new stuff, because some of these shelves I had, I've gone through moves, and one of them was only held up by the two shelves next to it. This one fell apart as soon as I moved the shelves next to it. So it's like, all right, that was not going to make it $3,000.
I was going to comment because I don't remember seeing the white shelves.
Yeah, so the room next door, I've got 6 of these black shelves, and I used to have 8 black shelves. And
the white shelves are looking fresh.
Let's mix it up. This is all the box, so like slip covers and things like that, and then this shelf's just Nintendo. Like, it looks kind of cool for the Wii games and the Switch games.
Yeah, pure madman. Are those at what are they? What's the brand? Atlantic?
These ones are
Media shelves. What are they? Sorry,
They're called Artists.
Artist. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if it's an Australian one or if they're worldwide, but they're pretty well known over here.
Yeah, that real thin or that low profile where it just fits the disc just right.
Yeah,
It looks like a library. You can just get one of those ladders and just.
Yeah, well, the thing I like about it is the shelves feel like they don't take up space in the room, so you can have
Exactly.
a room by them and it still fills space.
The deep bookshelves was something I knew when I moved into this house was what I wanted to get because I was doubling up games and I'm like I need a way to low profile this.
Wish I'd done that. That's one of my regrets is that I didn't do that when I purchased mine. I just got the bookshelves, and it is, it's for me. I made it work because I put all these stupid controllers and all this crap in front of it stuff, but
see, like now
doesn't look as good, to be honest. So.
Well, not just that, you've missed out on all that room space. You've
true.
cut out like a foot here, a foot there, a foot here, and you don't realize it.
And it's hard for me to even display those collectibles because the top of the media shelf is still as thin as the width of a case. So to even fit anything up there. Yeah.
The other thing that I don't find ideal is like I don't have a shelf in between all my games. Like I have games on top of games. Like there's a stack on top of that stack, which isn't a huge deal, but
it annoys me.
It does annoy me. And if you have like cardboard or like a slip cover or something and it's on the bottom, it gets bent from the games on the top and other stuff. Another thing too that I see people do that I try not to say anything because it's not my collection, but people who stack their games this way, right? They don't have them like standing up straight. They do them sideways. Like that's okay on like some of them. Like you can do it a little bit. But I'm just warning you guys, if you do that and you stack them 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, if you start stacking them really, really high, what ends up happening is the games on the bottom are getting crushed. They're literally getting smushed beneath the weight on the top. And you will literally damage your games. You will put pressure on the artwork, and the artwork will start to have those like pinpoints in them. You know what I mean? Like if you look at the back of the case, you can see the disc like through like in the artwork, and you can see like little pinholes from the game case puncturing.
It's like had weight on it because of the like.
Correct. So I would just warn people, if you are going to stick your games this like to the side, you can do that, but I wouldn't do it more than like 10 games. I wouldn't do more than that. I would not do like hundreds of games stacked on each other. You'll eventually damage the games on the bottom.
Which they're doing it because they got no space, so they're probably If they are stacking their games, it's like, I mean, you can get shelves cheap. You can go on the marketplace and get shelves for $20. Not shelves that look like this, but you can get cheap shelves until you got money to buy decent shelves. If you want to store your games, you shouldn't just be storing games on top of each other on the floor or whatever.
Seeing like newer Xbox and PS4 titles, they don't have manuals stuffed in them anymore and the maps and all the extra stuff. So like the older titles are crammed with like the extra weight of all the manuals and inserts. So that will add to the weight for sure for some of the older stuff.
Yeah, 100%. My boxes of PS3 stuff were all heavier than the boxes of PS4 stuff. And they had the exact same amount of games in them. And then the same again with the boxes of PS2 games. They were heavier than the boxes of PS3 games. And they had less games in them.
Another thing that'll do the same thing is if you put them like this and you try to squish too many in. You know what I mean? If you keep it too tight, you're like, I can fit one more in there. You squish it in, so you can't like pull it out. Like if you go to your shelf, you should be able to pull out your game like nice and smooth. There should be no pressure. You know what I'm saying? So like that's another thing. Like I've made that mistake. I'm like, no. It should be nice and loose. You should be able to like move them around. I got
my PS3 collection like that pretty squish right now, but I've collected every game for the PS3. I'm never going to be adding to that. I never have to move them. So I'm kind of content in leaving it like that. Where the PS4 shelf, where I'm moving them all the time, there's a gap between every single shelf because I'm doing it. And then that's the way I'm like, all right, if I've finished a collection, it can stay like that. It's not like the games are being squished. They're just tight to get out,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it can be a little tight. I'm just saying, like, don't try to optimize too much. Like, it's just, I don't know. I'm a nerd. I think about this stuff.
Like, it's not worth it. It's not worth the small gap of space.
I had to take all some of my games had hard box protectors in them, and I had to remove them all so they'd fit on these new shelves. So, like 2 mils thinner than the shelves I bought before. I didn't realize.
I actually stopped buying them. I used to buy protectors for like all my games, and first of all, it was really expensive. And second of all, I stopped doing it for that reason. It made them take up twice as much space, and I was just like, yeah. So now I put like my, actually really my rare, valuable, like any game that's worth like more than $100, I'll put a case on it pretty much. But anything less than that, I'm like, man, it'll be all right.
I do it for box stuff. Like I just got into Game Boy collecting, so I just bought a stack of 30
cardboard. You put in protectors.
Game Boy protector.
Period. If you're buying expensive cardboard, dude, put it in a protector. It'll be dusty, moldy, wet, faded from the sun. You want to take care of that stuff.
I was so happy because I ended up completing one of my favorite franchises was Need for Speed. And
dude, I love Need for Speed.
Any racing game really like genre. It's pretty. There's very few racing games out there.
Man. I should have gone with our original background now, man. I had the boobies. Need for Speed. I had it already. I can sense it. I didn't even know that, and I picked this game for our background, but it was seriously when I was putting this on, I was making the thing. My girlfriend was in the other room. She's like, "Are you playing Need for Speed?" I was like, "Yeah." Wow. Dude, it's so good, man. That's when everyone asks me about what's my favorite Need for Speed, I always say Underground because the soundtrack is the best, bro. It is the best. I don't care if it's the best game. It's the best soundtrack. I fucking love
soundtracks make a game.
Yeah.
So my city is the best Grand Theft Auto because the soundtrack.
What were you saying about Need for Speed? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just love that fucking game. So.
Oh yeah, no, that was hilarious. So I completed my all the Need for Speed games that were physically released. I always trip up on how to actually like phrase this. So every physical release Need for Speed game, I own them all. So for every console, like Game Boy Advance
DS and all that. Oh, cool.
Yeah, DS, PSP, PS1. There's some there's a couple rally titles in there that weren't explicitly Need for Speed. It was kind of like Rally brought to you by Need for Speed. Like it was, those were difficult to find. Every console, and it was when I came up to collecting the Game Boy Advanced copies that I got them boxed. I got them like they're great condition. It was my first time I ever had to buy like a protective shell casing for any of my games. And I was so psyched. I was like, it came all flat and I had to build it. It was all like this like acrylic kind of thing. You guys all probably know. But like it was a pretty cool moment for me. Like they look so nice on the shelf. I was like, man, I should get more. Or like the plastic sleeves you were talking about. But now that I hear you're gonna lose out on space, that makes sense now. I probably won't do that.
I had a bad experience. I bought some like 2 weeks ago. Exact same story I just told you guys. They arrived and they didn't fit. And then I go check the reviews, and the reviews have got like 1 star, and everyone's complaining they don't fit.
Whoa.
I clicked send a return, and Amazon like instantly refunded me. So I'm like, all right, I'm not going to complain. You can keep the 30 cases for, I think they're for like region 3 Game Boy Advance games, because apparently they're like a little bit smaller or something.
Huh.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. I had to like rebuy them.
That's annoying.
Lame.
So if anyone wants any like Game Boy Advance case protectors that don't fit, let me know and you can just have them for postage. I got a big stack over here.
So what's your favorite Need for Speed?
Oh man.
A lot of good ones. Actually, I like the new one a lot. I liked Unbound a lot. I had fun with it.
I loved Unbound. There was a lot of really great things that they did.
As soon as I got the thing that made you the cops not as easy to chase you, like I was struggling at first. I could not lose the cops. they'd be chasing me for like 45 minutes. I'd be like, I can't get away. Like literally, I could not get away, and it was driving me crazy. But then there's like little add-ons you can buy, and one of them like makes it easier for the stars to go down or whatever you want to call it. And I was like, this is a life changer. It made the game so much easier.
It was a real bummer. The only my only gripe, it's not on who does it? EA.
Yeah.
It's not on their side really, because at the end of the day it's the company's decision. But like Toyota decided they didn't want their brand to be a part of any illegal street racing as of like a certain date in time. So like you can get like a new Supra on Gran Turismo 7, but you're not seeing any Toyotas in Need for Speed, which was it's just kind of a bummer, like for nostalgic purposes and all that. But
what an odd thing.
Yeah.
Why? Like, why would you? We don't want kids to buy our cars and soup them up. That's
they just did it so they can say we're not associated with street racing, but all these companies are, because they're all Need for Speed game. Look.
You're not associated with street racing. You just sell cars.
Like Nissan didn't have a problem with it. Like,
you know,
I don't know. It's like those. It's just a strange tactic, and I don't know. Perhaps like they feel like they're the pioneers of like the hybrid vehicles and with the Prius and all that. They want to cater to like a different audience, I suppose. But
dude, that's too
it's
bad.
a pretty poor reason to.
Supers were the fucking balls back in the day, man. I love those cars, dude.
Or like a little MR2, like in Need for Speed Unbound would have been crazy. Anyway, but like, man, if I had to pick one, I have so many great memories of the first Underground, and then probably the Most Wanted.
That's my number 2 as well.
The first
Underground and Most Wanted are my 2 favorite.
Yeah. Actually, the Need for Speed Shift wasn't as widely received, but man, I was maybe 20, maybe 21, 22 when that game was coming out. And that was when I was like getting really into like, I wanted to do sim racing. I wanted to really like, I had dreams of building a rig like back here, and Need for Speed just drops this Shift game. Like I wanted to take Gran Turismo seriously, and Shift was like the circuit racing aspects, like not like Pro Street, but it's more it had different physics. And then I know these we'll make it a top 5, right? Need for Speed. Now it's escaping me. The one where you're going from coast to coast. It's the race.
The run.
That's the one I was going to say. I love that game, dude.
That's my number 2. I think I've played that like 10 times.
Such a good game, dude. I was going to mention it because I'm like, I feel like that game does not get enough love.
The story behind that,
it was
for
so
a racing game, have a full like start to end story, and it's awesome.
And you got to like button mash to like hop over the fence and get away from the dog. You're running now. I'm out of the car. What? And dude. And
that game's sick.
When they introduced Frostbite and Ghost, that was a good mesh. And yeah,
dude, I feel like the PS3, like one of the first things I collected was all the Need for Speed games. I got every racing game there was. I think the PS3 is like the best library of racing games ever, dude. Like it's got like all those Need for Speed split second games, freaking Ridge Racers, the grid games, the dirt games. Like there are so many good racing games, man. Motor Storms. It's like it's absurd how many racing games there are on the PS3. They're amazing.
Blur is another hidden gem.
Yeah, that was good. Ridge Racer.
Back
to the Need for Speed. I just want to throw out my one. It's always number 1 for me is Need for Speed Porsche 2000 on the PS1.
Really?
That's a good game. Yeah, I played it with my dad and brother as a kid, and I'm hundreds of hours into it. So it's really nostalgic for me. Just the memories of that game, and like that started my obsessions with racing games. I got into Gran Turismo 4 after that, and I got into Need for Speed games, but none of them hit me. Or the Run did, but none of them really like when I love this game apart from that first one where, it's not the hours into it. But the run is amazing. Like, first time I played Need for Speed The Run, I was blown away. I couldn't put that down until I finished it.
And they had a great marketing strategy too. They were like drip feeding like these little elements of like, this is what you can expect from, like, now you're in an avalanche situation, or now you're like in the plains, and it was
creative.
It
Cool.
kept me really interested like the whole way through. That's
You guys
like,
play
what is
It
it?
was the one on PS3 that was set with like the massive open world map. It was like 64 square kilometers or something ridiculous.
Was it The Crew?
No, it was on PS3. I think it was called Fuel.
Oh, Fuel.
Fuel is
It was fun, but my
ATV
only
game,
concern is it felt like the world was just empty. But it was a lot of fun to just drive as fast as you want, like throughout fields and go crazy. Back in the day, where
That's
like
what's
talking about
familiar.
Burnout
game
Remastered?
was huge, so it was. Sorry,
Burnout Paradise? Is that what you're talking about?
No, it was called Fuel.
Fuel? I thought Fuel was like an ATV game. Am I crazy?
Me
Am I
too.
thinking of the wrong one?
Fuel and Nailed are both ATV games, I believe. And then
No, it's Fuel. Fuel is an open world game. Yeah, it was
Oh, okay.
5,000 square.
oh
miles.
no,
Yeah,
Pure is the game I'm thinking of. Excuse me, I got it wrong.
Oh.
Pure and Nailed are the two I was thinking of.
I played it, so I'm definitely familiar. Yeah, like at the time, it was like one of the biggest open world games. It was like meant to represent like the whole US, and it just felt like the map went on forever, and yeah, it was cool.
You know what series I think?
2008 release. You know,
What series I want to have come back, which it never will because it's Rockstar and they don't make games anymore, is Midnight Club. I would really love that. I love Midnight Club.
I was waiting for one of you to bring that one up.
Oh God, it's so good, dude. And I love the one on PS3 too. It's so good.
So the first one, I have a
Burnout, but PS2 Burnout, where they have crash mode and
They just should remaster Burnout
cool
3.
intro music was cool.
so good.
My dad built out of like some scrap wood this mount for a PS2 wheel that I had, and I would roll my chair up, and it was like something I'd never heard. Like, that was mind blowing, and that's how I played the first Midnight Club was only on the wheel, and then I remember at some point way after going to a friend's house and he had it and we were playing. I'm like, I can't, like, I was dog shit at the game. Like, I can't play this on a controller. I'm so used to it's like, and yeah,
That'll happen.
It's cool.
I played a game on PS3 with a controller called World of Outlaws Sprint Cars, and I couldn't play it. Like, it was so hard. I couldn't play this game. The controls made no sense. Like, it just didn't work. And then I went around my buddy's house who had a racing sim and tried the game, and it worked. The game was so much fun. So
Cool.
pick up World of Outlaws Sprint Cars on PS3 and give it a go on the racing sim.
Okay.
I don't think it got a North American release, but yeah, you can get a PAL version. It was so much fun.
So it's like it's like you learn how to play a game with a certain tool that it's impossible to play with. And I have the same problem with Beat Saber now because I've been using the Quest 2, and the way the controllers are, you can hold them like all these weird ways. And like the way that I found, so I studied like how the experts play Beat Saber, and the way they actually hold the controllers is they do like this thing called the claw.
Yeah, the cool grip.
So they don't hold it like this, like you would hold like this regular Beat Sabers things. You hold the controllers like this, and you put your hands through the holes, and you hold it like this, and you play like that, and it's so much better.
Wow.
And it's I'm like 10 times better at the game when I play that way. But now if I go and I try to play on PSVR, I'm dog shit. Like, I cannot play, and I was decent before on the PSVR, but now it's like I can't play at all because I'm so used to those controllers and the way I move my arms and the way the muscle memory is and everything, that it's just like I cannot play any other way. It just doesn't feel right. It's like
I can hear my wife like, "Whoa, just not feeling it today, huh?" I'm like, "Shut up!" I'm trying something new. I swear I'm better at the other version.
No, she just laughs at me because I'm dancing in the fucking living room like an asshole playing this fucking game, dude. I've already told her, I'm like, you are not allowed to film me ever playing this. Not if I ever see a clip of me online of me playing this, I am not. We're gonna have some issues because I guarantee you, I look really stupid.
It'll go viral like the Hook Togo or the Joe Rad doing the
I don't want to go viral for quite the same reason, but
Right.
You guys get any pickups to show off this week?
yes, I do, sir. I was just gonna say, would you like to show off some pickups? Do you want to go first? You only have one, you said, right? Or do you want me to go? I have a ton of stuff, so
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. There you go.
I got one, but it's a pretty good one.
it's a good one.
So I've been working on trying to get every Pokemon game for Australian releases, which is a pretty massive task. So I just started with the base set, the finished Generation 1 with all the main releases. I'm doing spin-off titles later. I'm just going for every main release game first, and then I'll go back through the catalogs. So moving on to Generation 2, we have Pokemon Silver, Australian Power Complete. It's got the case protector already, which is pretty cool. I actually picked this up locally off a collector. He had a really amazing collection. He had probably like 100 boxed N64 games. Boxed. He had a full set of N64 controllers all boxed. He had boxed Game Boys, boxed NES, boxed SNES. So I actually made a deal with him to buy Pokemon Crystal and a boxed Game Boy, the same color that I used to play when I was a kid. So it's pretty nostalgic for me. And he's going to come around and check out my collections, and we're going to do the deal then. So that'll be a bit of fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, I like showing off my collection to collectors. So we're the first collector that's seen my collection in the new place. So yeah, looking forward to that. But yeah, that'll be tomorrow. So you guys will see that next week.
That's awesome, brother.
Yeah, so hopefully next week I should have Generation 2 set done, and then we move on to Gen 3.
That's fresh.
Yo, dude, some of those N64 controllers are no joke. Does he have them like sealed in the blister packs?
I don't know if any of them are sealed because they're Australian. Mm-hmm. We don't really get sealed stuff over here because it was all like open before we buy it in the shops. And like
really,
sealed Australian Pokemon games, for example, you're looking at like $10,000, because there's that limited stock out there.
Holy cow!
I can find on my marketplace sealed North American stuff. I can't find sealed Australian stuff.
I'm pretty sure it's the
It's just because the way stuff is sold in the shops over here is it's open before you get it unless you pre-order it.
It's all them dingoes opening everything. I don't know.
I thought maybe it was like for like a humidity reason or a.
No, they just do it that way. It's like how GameStop do it in America. That's how all our retailers do it. We've since had Amazon come in the last few years, and they do it like how Amazon does it. But if you buy games in Australia, even brand new prices, unless you like pre-order it, it's opened, and that's how it is. Even our new Switch games, like some of them just come. I pre-ordered the new Pokemon games, and they come open. They didn't come sealed. Like they came open. You can't get sealed Australian copies of some of them, which is wild.
Wow.
Like, they never got sealed. The boxes were sent with open copies of the games. Yeah. It's just weird how the culture is and how it always has been over here. So sealed stuff is like crazily expensive because
it's still expensive here. That's what I was trying to say. Like I'm pretty sure it's the watermelon colored one. But like I've seen sealed watermelon N64 controllers for like thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Holy crap, dude! Like, yeah, because some of them are like Toys R Us exclusives or something like that. It's all those, that series they call what's the hell it's called? Fantastic. All those cool colored ones and everything. Some of those are so nice, man. Like everybody I've seen who has a collection of those things are freaking gorgeous, dude.
I'm glad I'm not getting into that stuff. The collector I'm purchasing stuff off tomorrow, he offered me Pokemon Stadium 1, 2, and
box
back on the N64 box, immaculate condition. Gave me a good price, like well below eBay, but I turned it down because I have no N64 stuff in the collection. I have no desire to get into another system. Because in my head,
Snap on, dude.
if I buy that, I have to then go and buy all the GameCube games, and otherwise, it doesn't fit. Like
It's a disease.
But I'm trying to like limit myself to stuff that I had as a kid. I never had an N64, so I haven't got any nostalgia for it. And I'm not just going to collect something because it's expensive. I didn't play these games as a kid. I played these games as a kid. That's why I'm nostalgic for them. And it's not like these games are $50. You're spending $200-$300 on items. If I'm spending that, I'd rather have stuff that means something to me, that justifies the purchase.
I love that. I'm glad you have that, dude.
Yeah, let's go.
Very cool, my man.
You got anything to show us, Hazard?
Yes. Oddly enough, I'm usually pretty good as soon as I come home. I'm like so excited to like whip out the rubbing alcohol and get my little stack of paper towels and clean them all up. But these are clean. I just never ended up cataloging them in my whatnots. So I don't even own an Atari. It's probably like the only console next to a Saturn and like ColecoVision and television, like maybe like those older retro ones that I don't own. And it's for a good reason. I never grew up with an Atari, but I have this like romanticized idea that I want to find an Atari in the wild where it's got like 40 games and like this old guy's like this pride and joy is like, oh, I'm selling it off or like I want it to be like a cool, like I want to show up at a tag sale and like being, oh my god, babe, there's an Atari or whatever, and like
and that they happen, they show up, so you're just gonna bide your time.
I know, like it's that to me is like it's still worth chasing that idea, and so it's rare that I pick up any of these. And the last couple Atari games that I got were the ET games, because I'm from New Mexico, so it's kind of cool to it's kind of cool to like have those.
So you went out and dug them up in your backyard, is what you're saying?
Yeah, like the ET ones, I'm just gonna go and bury them in my backyard.
So it's the funny thing about ET is everybody's always like, that game's the worst game ever made. That game's the worst game ever made. And I was always like, I like that game. I don't know why everybody, and I was always so confused. Yeah, it turns out that we had like a cooler Atari. We had an Atari 800. We had the home PC Atari, not the 2600. Ooh. And so the games that I played were like way better than the regular Atari. And so like I had no idea. I was just like, it was one of those things. I'm like, I do not understand the hate for this game. And then I realized because I got to play like a way better version of ET that was actually pretty fun. And then I played the 2600 one, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is crap. Now I get it. This is terrible.
Now I understand why the market went down.
2600 has some rough games, man. Even the Pac-Man on it is rough. It's just like, it does not look good.
I picked this up only because I love the Alien franchise. I'm not like super stacked. I don't like do any of the collectibles or I just really love the movies and the sci-fi and space and all that. I'm even planning like I have this bare spot open on the inside of my arm because I'm doing a xenomorph piece pretty soon. I think you'll dig it. It's funny, on the same subject of Alien, got the UMD. I'm also a sucker for demo discs. So I absolutely love demo discs, and I don't even. It's like weird. It's not even like a branded.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that one's cool.
Yeah, I think on the back it even has more.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What a demo disc. That would be like the grail if you were a kid.
Yeah, that's the thing is like these.
PlayStation's pretty cool. I just tried Gran Turismo, Spyro, Crash,
all the heavy hitters, and these are just phenomenal condition. My local guy.
Those are awesome, dude. I love the Undergrounds.
I love these demo discs so much because I love how they're seasoned, like for the winter editions, like those little snowflakes.
Like CEs back in the day.
Man, they're just.
Oh, you have a lot of them.
Yeah, he ended up having 3 of these things.
Oh,
They were just great.
Let's just show mine if I can find it.
You know, games were still super expensive back then as they were now. And if you got a brand new console that your family just saved up for Christmas and for birthdays and stuff, like you maybe got 1 or 2 games and few and far in between. If you were lucky.
One games back in the day that like used to include demos in the game.
Yeah.
I got this one.
I have that exact same one. It's my favorite, actually. I love it. And I love these ones that used to come in magazines.
Yeah.
These real thin boys.
That's cool.
We had PS2 ones over here, and they had the same spines as PS2 games.
What?
So like people have got them in their PS2 collections, and then they have like all this writing on it because it's a demo disc. They're really cool.
Yeah, there's a magazine one. I even have, I don't know what issue it is, but I do have a sealed PlayStation magazine with a demo disc in it. I don't remember which one it is, but
is it official PlayStation? It must be because it has a
Yeah.
demo disc. Yeah, I collect the unofficial ones.
oh,
So anytime somebody says they have them, I'm like, really? Oh, never mind. So as soon as if I ever finish the unofficial ones, I will probably start collecting the official ones too. Because
Nice.
I one at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Nice.
It's one I don't have, and can't wait to put a yellow spine on. I don't know why yellow just stands out to me on my shelf, and it's fine. Ratchet and Clank. And funny enough, I also in the same search
Nice.
when I do my rounds through like
Wait, what's that called?
Deadlocked?
Deadlocked.
Oh, it's called Gladiator over here. I had no idea it had a different title.
Whoa, interesting.
Yeah. I'm like, well, I haven't heard of this game before. Yeah,
This
it's Ratchet
one-
Gladiator in Power Region.
One of these. Oh, yeah, this is the one that's not for resale. So that immediately tells me this was part of like a
Yeah, that
trilogy.
got included in a console bundle. When that
Okay.
was on the,
I had a feeling. I was like, shit.
Mario saying that Metal Gear Solid demo disc he had when he was a kid came with his PS1.
Yeah. You try to like
Right,
play
yeah.
the same level like in different ways. Space Marine. Actually,
Nice.
got it on at GameStop for a pretty low price. It was buy one get one, and then or you buy 2 get 1 free. That ended up being the free one, so it was fine.
Nice.
And
That's a
then-
great
Yeah,
collection.
that's a good collection. That one, nice.
Yeah, Trine was. I remember Trine being like one of those cool like as soon as I got my PS3, it was like one of the demos you can, or one of the first maybe free games you got with your subscription. It was something like that. Anyway, it was a pretty cool find.
Yeah, those games are great. The Trine games. That's the best version to pick up too. That complete edition with all the games, because you can buy them separately. I think, and
And
then
they're quite
Mhm.
expensive.
there's a combo with like maybe just 1 and 2 on it. I remember looking it up. I was a little confused, but I was like, that's the one to get. And then Trine 5 came out as an individual release as well, which I would like to get as well. So
Only on PS5 and
4.
Switch?
Oh no, it's on. I think it's on all of them.
Okay.
I of course was looking at the PS4 because that's what I do.
It's funny. I didn't really. I played the first 2 maybe, and
Mhm.
then I didn't even know they made more after that. And so it was kind of cool to see that on a PS4 disc there was a bunch just already preloaded as a collector set.
Yeah, and I believe
Well,
it's all on the
yeah,
disc
pick up,
too.
Joe, I just wanted to bring up
Sure.
a photo that Cyrus sent in of his Game Boy pickup lot that he just got.
Holy bananas!
It was absolutely insane.
Wow, that's a lot of Game Boy.
That Planet
He
of the
got
Apes is
the
pretty
price
cool.
that he paid in chat before too, if someone wants to scroll back and find it.
Yeah, I saw it. He said that he got that and he paid like the same it would cost him for 5 or 6 games or something.
Yeah,
PS5
like
games.
PS4
Here we go.
games. This is the same price. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, so Southeast Game Exchange. That's pretty cool, man. I hope you had fun
Wow.
there, dude. I was so jealous, man. I'm getting to the point, Figsy, where like half our guests all go to these things now. And I'm like, oh man, I want to go. They're all there having fun. I'm over here. What the heck?
I've never been to one, and maybe I'll fix
You said
that.
you're from New Mexico, right?
Mhm.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna be going to the one in Arizona that Reggie always goes to, that Joel Valley runs or whatever, or works on too. What's it called? What the hell's wrong with me? I should know the name of this off the top of my head. Game On Expo, I think it is. I'm pretty sure it's Game On Expo.
Game On.
They do it in Arizona, I believe, every year, and I think I'm going to go to that one next year. So you should go. Let's do it, man. We'll go spend lots of money and buy games we don't need. It'd be fun.
Yes, please.
But yeah, he made a good point. He's like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, you could buy 5 new games or hundreds of old games and have a good time. Yeah. So it's just like, yeah, man, I like I said, I just think I think the gaming industry is screwed because they need to charge more and more money now to stay afloat. And I'm like, well, I'm not paying you that money. I'm just going to buy, if I'm going to pay $100, I'm going to go buy a PS1 game that I want. That's a rare game. I'm not going to buy a brand new game for $100. It's going to drop in value.
Yeah, buy something that's worth $100 in 10 years.
Exactly. So I could pay $100 for a new game and have it worth $5, or I could buy this game for $100 and it'll be worth $150 into 5 years. Because those old games, they're not going down. They might fluctuate a little bit, but overall, they're just going up. They're not.
Like, I spent a lot of money on these Pokemon games, but I know for a fact that they're not getting reprinted anytime soon. These are all about condition. So if you're spending money on the condition and you're preserving it over time, it's only going to be worth more money. Where I could go to the shop today and buy 3 brand new games that came out this week, and they're going to be worth fuck all in the future.
Except for fucking Trails games.
Well, that's true.
So remember when I was saying there are some times where you should buy games when they're brand new and you should pay full price? It's because certain games, they don't get reprinted. They just sell out and they get really expensive.
Yeah.
And
there are so many trail games out there now. It's ridiculous.
Dude, I literally got this game, went on Twitter, and it was like up for pre-order. Trails Through Daybreak 2. I was like, what the? It's just, what the hell? I just got this one. There's another one? How many of these are you making? It's like, we getting a Trails game every 6 months? What is happening?
The thing is, I enjoyed Trails of Cold Steel Legends of Heroes 1. So I'm like, I'll get into this series one day. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got Azure. I got one of the other ones. And it's like, at this point, I'm not going to play all of these games. It's like the 100-hour RPGs. It's like, I like them, but I don't love them like I like Dark Souls or something.
It's gonna be this is like literally one of my retirement plans. Is I'm gonna sit down and play all the Trails games. Hell yeah, dude! I'm gonna no life it. Hell yeah!
It's so funny. I have the same mindset as like one day I'm just gonna have all the time in the world. Like bills will be paid automatically through my bank account. Won't worry about it. I'll just, what are we playing today? Because it's like I'm busting my ass now so I can enjoy this all later.
Well, I'm up to 69 subs, so any day now I'm going to be a millionaire off of YouTube.
Let's go, babe.
So let's go. But I'm in a problem. I have 60. If I have 69 subs, I don't want any more. I want to keep it at 69, or it needs to go straight to 420.
Yeah,
let's
420.
just be real. So what I need is, if anybody subs and screws me up and gets me over 69, I need everybody listening to go sub to get me to 420. Okay. And then once you get to 420, maybe I'll actually put a video on my channel. I keep saying I will. I'll make a video someday and show off some of my collection. It'll actually.
Joe's Game Room Tour coming at 420 subs.
You want a game room tour? I'll just put my camera on for 2 seconds. That's the tour. But if you want to actually see like the stuff that I think is worth collecting, and like, I'll show you all the shmups, all the horror games, all the crap I like. But yeah, anyway, I just think this is going to be, this is one of those games where like we're like super late in the PS4's life cycle. I feel like most people.
I hadn't seen it until you posted it. I'm like, oh fuck, there is a PS4 version.
yeah. This one was hard.
Yeah, I'll get that on PS5. I'll just wait.
It took forever. I ordered this, pre-ordered this, and it came like 2 days ago. It and everybody else was posting theirs. I'm like, where the hell is my copy? So I don't know if there's just not a lot of these or what it was, but like this was kind of a bitch to get. So Yeah, I don't know. And the other thing too is I own like every other Trails game on the PS4, so I can't. My OCD is not going to allow me to get the PS5 version. I just need to keep it going, you know.
There's a PAL version, but there isn't an Australian version.
Oh, I guess I don't have all of the Gran Turismos or Need for Speeds. No. Okay, I have all the Gran Turismos. I know we were talking about Need for Speed, but I can't bring myself to buy the PS4 version of GT7. Not yet, anyway. So to your point, I'm like, I'm not there yet.
That's on sale. That'll be cheap. That'll be
I know
cheap.
that there's like a lot of hate behind that game, but I played that with my buddy, and we like did our campaign on my file whenever he came over, and honestly, I had a lot of fun. The trophies, like the license school, was just like the PS2 days playing the license schools. And the cool thing I liked about that is I used to do PUBG on Twitch, and because of that, I used to offer anyone to add me on PSN. So I got like 1,000 friends on my PlayStation.
Yeah.
Because of that, when I'm playing Gran Turismo, it shows all your friends' time.
Yeah.
Licenses.
I'm
not going for the gold medal. I'm competing with every single one of my friends. There's like 30 or 40 on there. It's awesome.
I've seen your name.
I called my mates who played the game like years later, and they're like, "Oh, Figsy, I was competing against your times, and I beat them, and there was a few I couldn't beat." And in my head, I'm like, "Yeah, you couldn't beat them because my buddy set them." And he's like, "Go."
Oh, dang! All right, now I know that. Sometimes I'll see your times. I'll be like, "How in the?" And then I'll try and spend like an afternoon.
My buddy played a lot of F1 games, so. Like the really fast cars, he was just awesome at them. Some of them I would do like the dirt tracks. I would just dominate those, and then there was some where he would beat them. And we almost finished all the S gold tiers. We had like a few to go. And
Nice.
Yeah,
I
now
love racing games,
we
dude.
probably won't finish them. Sad.
That's one of those genres where I'm just like, I'm so surprised it's still like relatively affordable, because it's like they're fucking awesome games, dude. And like, I don't know, I feel like people like, they look at racing games sort of like sports games, like they just don't really collect them or they're not into them or something. Maybe that's changing, but I'm all about racing games. I think they're so fun.
Well, they're not really collectible. Like
they're not valuable dollar-wise usually, but
I've got some Japanese like titles from like of Gran Turismo. I even have like some South Korean title that was only released out there for PS2, and I mean. Those, I guess, those odd ones are collectibles, but the titles themselves, not so much.
The Gran Turismo HD concept install disc for the PS3, the cancelled Gran Turismo game that has a physical release.
I do know what you're talking about, but
we're derailing Joe's.
No. I was just going to say there's a ton of, I guess, Xbox 360 games that are racing games that are worth a fuck ton of money. Mr. Rightway was showing off some of them the other day. He had a couple of them. He said they're worth like $100, $120. Some of these racing games on the Xbox, because they're exclusives, I guess. So, and there are some.
We've got some like. So there's one that comes to mind that was a 360 game as well. It was a snowmobile game. It was called. Sorry, it's not coming to my mind.
Maybe like so. Like, does it have scope in it? Scope or
Arctic Nuts.
Sea-Doo Snowmobile Challenge is so much fun.
Wow.
It is like a really fun couch co-op game. Yeah, it's a full hidden gem, like 100%. And it used to be like $10. It's probably like a $20 to $30 game today, and you do not see it anywhere. So like I would pick it up prior to 10 years down the line where people are like, this game's awesome, it's $100, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
That happens, you know?
That is what happens. All it takes is some asshole on YouTube to be like, this game's great.
I'm actually going to look it up. I haven't looked at the price of this game in years. So hopefully it's not expensive.
All right, I got some more gems here.
Yeah.
All right, this one's cool. So
$20.
I found about this from James. Jack Holmes, master of puppets.
That's cool.
It looks not that great, but it's pretty fucking cool. I don't know if you can see, but it's like a first-person shooter that's like horror themed,
Nice.
It's got like a bunch of creepy mannequins and shit, and like I don't know, it looks awesome, to be honest with you. I would definitely pick it up.
Do you get to move around, or is it one of those like roller coaster?
Nope.
Shooters.
It's a full first person shooter, walking around,
oh,
shooting stuff and stuff. Yep. Yeah, it's not on rails or anything like that. It says you can do everything to survive. It says rides in an abandoned theme park, dark and terrifying locations. A macabre story of living puppets, uncontrolled animatronics, and nightmare beings. So it's like you're in a carnival, it looks like, and you're fighting weird, creepy looking puppets. Looks dope. And cool. The only physical release that I know of is this PAL version. I don't think there's a ESRB or Australian, or I don't even think there's a Japanese one. Maybe I'm wrong, but definitely the only one with English I know of. So yeah, it's Jack Holmes' Master Puppets. I actually ordered.
I love it.
Yeah, it's funny because I actually have to get it from Play Asia. Like I find I have to order my PAL games from Japan more often than not, because the only place that has them for a reasonable price that'll ship them. So if I try to buy these games individually off of eBay or something, it's like $15, $20, $25 to ship them from Europe. You know what I mean? So it's like, fuck that. I'll just go to Play Asia, order $100, free shipping, good to go.
Yeah.
So that's right.
I mean, it is that expensive to ship across this country. So it is what it is.
That's a cool pickup, though. Yeah.
That game's sick, dude. This game looks fucking incredible. This is called Withering Rooms. And it's like a side-scrolling horror game.
Whoa.
And it's like, I mean, I guess I'd kind of describe the art style like as like kind of like little nightmare-ish type stuff.
I was just going to say.
But like, it's pretty horrifying, like the way the monsters look. Like, this game looks sick, dude. I can't wait to try it. I don't know if it's really good. The gameplay could suck, but it looks amazing. And I don't know what's in here, but this thing is heavy as balls. So I'm assuming there's some sort of manual in here, maybe a soundtrack or something. But yeah, dude, this is horror games you can't miss if you're into collectability and you want something that, try getting a horror game that only came out in Europe. That's a solid bet. So it's called Withering Rooms.
Hard to go wrong with an exclusive game like a horror JRPG genre.
Exactly. Like any horror game in general is probably a good pickup, but if it only came out in a certain region, or the English is only available in China or some shit like that, I would pick it up. So yeah, this one looks sick.
Oh.
This is the other game I got in that order. So every time I order from Play Asia, I get like 3 or 4 things to get the free shipping. So, but this is another one that I thought looks really cool. It's just called The Gap.
Oh, nice.
Basically, you're in the mall and you're trying on sweaters. And no, I'm just kidding. That's not what it is. It's
I was like, let's go. I'm going for the high score, man.
Basically, yeah, there's this bitch named Cindy who's keeps telling you you're not allowed to try on the clothes because you stretch them out because you're fat, and you have to like put her in a headlock. It's a really weird game. Anyway, this game's called The Gap.
That's my purse.
And then the reason it's called The Gap is because it's like a sci-fi adventure thing where you like jump through time or something like that.
So Cindy's not real?
You
just had me sold, Joe.
It says, determined to cure his family's strange illness, Joshua will have to face the darkest moments of his past and try to save his life and his memories through haunting deja vu. So like you have like memory gaps and you're jumping through time, and it's like I guess it's like more of like an adventure story driven type experience, but it looks pretty creepy and it looks kind of sci-fi-ish. And I'm just like a huge sucker for sci-fi. I fucking love it. Sci-fi and fantasy. I'm just all day, every day. Put me in a spaceship or put me on a horse with a sword, I'm happy. Those are my 2 favorite things. So yeah, this thing was super cool. The only complaint about this game is that I heard it's very short. So it's one of those games that's like only a few hours. You can beat it in like 2-3 hours or whatever.
I don't mind that if the game's good and if it's comes in at a reasonable price, half price or something. Mm-hmm. Like a 5-hour game isn't a bad game just because it's 5 hours. It's gonna be a great experience.
Correct. And it's not super expensive. It's cheap. Yeah. And also, like, if it's a cinematic experience, like the whole point of it's like a movie or a story, 3 hours is probably a lot. It's good to go. You know what I mean?
Walk out of the movie going, that movie was only 2 hours. I want a 100-hour movie.
No, thank you. I went to see Avatar 2. Holy shit, dude. Have you seen that movie? It's like 3 hours and 20 minutes long. The movie's called The Way of Water, right? Me and my girlfriend went to see that movie, and I looked down, and it's like an hour and 20 minutes until they get to the fucking water. I was like, what the hell? They just got to the water now that we've been watching this for over an hour. What the? It's literally, dude.
I was on the edge of my seat the whole 3 hours too. I'm like going through an emotional roller coaster. I loved it, dude. I was in IMAX 3D, crying 3D tears.
Oh, that poor whale. I was mad.
Man,
it's a decent enough movie, but you know, my girlfriend loves those movies. We actually got the oh god, I hate to say it, I hate to admit it. I bought that fucking Avatar game.
Oh, you did? Is it good?
It's all right. It's one of those games you have to be online all the time to play it.
Oh, really?
So I was like really against buying it, but my girlfriend loves Avatar, like for real, and it was on sale for like $20. So
the
I was
gameplay
like,
footage looked pretty, like the gunplay and like the mechanics looked pretty cool.
It was a 96 gig install. So there's that. I was
Okay.
like, dear Lord. So anyway, it looks all right. But like I said, I hate buying games like that. But for $20, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, it's good. So next pickup is The Legend of Legacy HD Remastered.
Nice.
I don't think this got a PS4 copy. I hope. I couldn't find one at least.
It looks
So-
like it's an PS4 game, but
Well, it was a 3DS game.
the Alliance Alive, it looks like that.
That's-
wouldn't be surprised if it's from the same.
Yeah, the Alliance Alive was, I can't remember if that was either a sequel to this one or this is a sequel to that one. They're like related. One of them,
It looks like, I'm like, oh, it's the Alliance Alive. Oh wait, no, it's not.
yeah. So the Alliance Alive did get released on PS4, and I bought the PAL copy because it was like significantly cheaper than the ESRB copy. Like,
That's
so
interesting because in Australia it's like $80. Yeah, but in Europe, yeah, you're right. It's like $10.
yeah, it was super cheap. It was like I got it for $20, I think, and then the ESRB copy is like sold out in all the stores. So you can only get it on eBay. It was like $80 or something. I was like, I'm cool with it. So if a game,
Plus to drop the reprint.
I used to be like only ESRB. It has to be ESRB, but I've kind of gotten over that. If the game doesn't have any DLC and it doesn't like require online multiplayer, I got no problem with the PAL copy because it's just going to install and be the same anyway. But if it turns out like DLC and you have to like make a European account or anything, it just gets fucking annoying. So I kind of
I
try to
got that
avoid those.
attitude, but I'll look to upgrade it down the line and then sell that copy that I bought.
Well, that I would do that. I mean, for sure. If I could get the ESRB copy for a reasonable deal, I would absolutely do that.
I'll go to the point of like adding them to a list and like constantly checking to like look for that other copy, you know.
But yeah, this is an RPG that came out on the 3DS. It's not supposed to be like the best game in the world, but it's kind of why I wanted it, to be honest with you, because I don't know if a lot of people will buy this. I think this might be a little obscure down the line. So, and it's an NAS game. So
I was gonna say I recognize that NAS from the first game you showed, Trials.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they just NIS and Atlas are like kind of like.
Oh, okay.
They're both like reasonably. If you buy those games, there's a good chance they'll hold their value at least. Let's put it that way.
I like they redesigned logo. It was good.
It does look good. So this game I got because JRPG Life, Dan and Elisa recommended this one. They said this was fucking excellent. So I picked up Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth.
At a good price, you know. It's just Yakuza spin-off
Mhm.
title.
Correct. Yeah, it was on sale on Woot for $30 or 35 or some shit like that. So I was like, that's a decent enough price for a game. It's like a $70 game. And this is
Where'd you get
from
from?
what? What's that?
Where'd you get
Woot.
it from?
From Woot. Woo woo! That's right. Yeah. That's where I got this too, actually. That's right. So the reason I don't mind paying $35 for this game is I've heard it has like just hundreds and hundreds of hours of content. This is one of those games where you can just play it and 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 play it. So, yeah, I've never played in my life a Yakuza game or a Like a Dragon game. I've never played any of them. So this is the first one that I bought, and I do own the Judgment games, which I guess are sort of spin-offs or something, maybe, or related somehow. I think I could be wrong. I think they're somehow related, but anyway, I want to get all of the Like a Dragon games first, and then maybe I'll go back and get other Yakuza games too. But
so many, man. Like just PS3, there's like 9.
Yeah, so that's why
Japanese releases. So
that's why maybe I just stick with it Like a Dragons, because I think there's 4 of them or something. There's this one, there's the first one, Yakuza Like a Dragon, and then there's the man who has no name or some shit like that one, the Asian release, and then there's another one.
There was another one.
It's like feudal Japan or some shit. I can't remember the name of it, but I think there's 4 of them, so I'm gonna grab all those.
And then Yakuza's complicated because they have like multiple releases. They'll be like, you slipcover, your steelbook version, your standard version.
Yeah, and it's also like there's probably like 1,000 hours of content if I buy all those games. So am I ever gonna actually sit down and play them all? Probably not. So let's just start off with the Like a Dragon games. We'll see if we can get through those, and then if I really like them, I'll go back and pick up.
Yakuza's fun, but it's not a series like I like it. It's cool, but it's not a series I love. If that makes sense. Like a lot of the content in those games, I don't want to play. Like weird Japanese mini games that I have no interest in playing. But a lot of it's really cool,
Legends of HD Remastered is on PS4, 86.49. Ugh, gross.
That's
cool. I've personally never played any of the Yakuza games. I feel like somehow I just missed them, and then as time went on, like there's so many now to where like it feels overwhelming. To
intimidating.
Even,
but it's not a series that you have to play like 1 through to 9. You can pick up the recent one and have fun. So
yeah, it seems like that because anytime I've ever bumped into someone who's streaming it, it seems like it honestly looks very similar to like game over game. Like
but there is a continuous story, but you don't need to.
Okay.
To follow it along.
That's good to know.
But yeah, I'd definitely give it a go once. Like Yakuza's fun. It's like people compare it to GTA. I would compare it. It's more of like a fighting game.
It's like a beat 'em up more. Like
like a fighting game beat 'em up in an open world game that just has all these weird mini games in it as well.
Right. The thing that sticks out is like all the rhythm aspects, the rhythm game, like DDR stuff that sticks out.
There's so many different game elements in the one game. Like Nier, how Nier is an RPG, it's a shoot 'em up, it's a platformer, it's just like all these different things in one. It's just really cool.
Oh, I dig that. Like I'm I like games that are creative, that surprise you. You know what I mean? I do, and there's nothing more satisfying than when you play a game and all of a sudden you come across some weird mini game that you're fucking obsessed with, and it's so fun. And you know what I mean? Have you ever done that? Like,
yeah,
dude, you know what? I'll never forget is do you remember Super Mario RPG? Did you ever play that?
No, not the RPG.
So in the original game, when I played it on the Super Nintendo, there was like this weird little side game where you would you were like a little ship and you would shoot turtle shells, and like Space Invaders or something. It kind of looked like.
Oh, okay.
But the way it would work is like if you didn't shoot them and you like held off, you could like let the screen fill up with tons of them and try to shoot as many as you can. And I remember I literally played it so much that I ripped the skin off my thumb. I played it so much that I was playing this game so much trying to get a high score that I ripped my thumb open and had a huge hole in my thumb from playing the game. And I was like, okay, I should probably take a break.
Games have like a torturous mini game.
That's wild.
And Stardew Valley comes to mind. The mystery of the Cursed King in Stardew Valley. I was trying to get all the trophies in Stardew Valley, and I'm like, I can do this, and I'm like working my way through. And then I like worked on the mystery of the Cursed King, and I'm like, I can't even beat this. And one of the trophies requires you to beat it without getting hit. I just gave up. I later got all the trophies on the Switch because they took those achievements out on the Switch version.
So there you go. So I ordered a bunch of. So they announced that the PSVR 2 is pretty much not going to be supported anymore. I don't know if you saw that. They didn't officially say that, but they basically said like they're not producing more units, and so they sell out of the back stock. I don't know if they're going to completely give up on it, but it seems kind of like they're doing that.
It's a counterproductive argument. We're not going to make any new games until you guys buy more of that stock.
Well, it's like me telling people to sub to my channel without videos. It's the same thing, but yeah, they're not there. It's well, everybody, like you said, it ain't gonna get any better for sure if they're not doing it. If they're not supporting it. They do have a couple games coming out, so I don't want to say it's like all doom and gloom. Who knows? But either way, I thought it was a good time to pick up the physical PSVR 2 games that are available now, because I have a feeling once they're gone, they're gonna be gone. They're not making more, and some of them are already fucking expensive and really hard to find. Already, there's a couple that are like. I don't know how to talk about it, but like the Star Wars Tales from Galaxy's Edge, that Star Wars game.
Okay.
The ESRB copy is like you cannot find it. There's one on eBay and some jackass is on it for $500. And if you're a fan of the show, sorry, but you're a jackass.
Wow.
And it's open. It's not even sealed. He's selling for $500.
I mean, if he's the only one who will sell, that's how.
Hey, he's got the only copy on eBay, so I mean, it is what it is. Exactly, but I ain't paying that. I'll tell you that, Rush, because you could get the PAL copy for like $40. So I might just suck it up and get the PAL copy, because definitely don't need it. It ain't worth $500. I'll tell you that right now. It ain't that good of a game. It's a Disney Star Wars game. I'm sure it's probably shite. Probably play as a freaking purple haired fat lesbian Jabba the Hutt with in a wheelchair, fucking some stupid shit. Anyway, so I got this Crossfire Sierra Squad.
Oh, cool.
I ordered a couple more. You down on the Crossfire. Sorry, no. Crossfire. All right. Fixie's like, what the fuck are these guys talking about?
I have no idea.
I know you don't.
Fixie, you're down here. I need you up here.
It was like a board game that came out in the 90s that had the greatest commercial ever. And the whole game was
it was some something. It's like both new.
Dude, it's the best commercial ever because of the song. Like famous You'll be caught up in love.
There's a hilarious. There's a stand-up comedian who talks about that very commercial, and he's like, "There's just like these two kids that's in this post-apocalyptic wasteland, and they're battling to the death with these spitting tops, and one kid just gets sucked out of the air.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
It's
so
wow.
The game was like he said, there was like these little spinners on the game board, and you had like a little gun that would shoot metal BBs across the board, and the whole point was you're supposed to shoot your BB into the puck and make the puck go into the other person's goal. And so you just be sitting there shooting at it or whatever. And like literally the commercial was like legendary, and like I always wanted to play that game, but it was actually really expensive, so my parents wouldn't buy it for me. And so I went over to one of my friends' houses, and he had that game, and I was like, oh my god, we're about to get caught up in the crossfire. I was so excited. And so we sit down and we go to play it. We start playing it, and 2 seconds later, his mom comes in. She goes, "That's too fucking loud. Stop playing that game." Bah, 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 and made us stop playing it. And that was my whole experience with that game. I got to play it for like 2 minutes, and then I got to take it away from me, and I never got to play it again. You know what? I'm a grown ass man. I'm gonna buy myself some fucking Crossfire. I'm gonna do that right now. It's probably like $1,000, but I'm gonna do it.
Go to the alley, the closest alley near you, and just start battling people in the alley.
That's right. $5 a game. Let's go. I would love to do that. You know what other game? Dude, I know everything I want is $400. Every single thing that I think is cool that I would like to purchase is $500. It's fucking insane. You know what game I also wanted to get? There's a game called Fireball Island. Do you remember that game? Have you ever heard of it? It's like this giant mountain, and like there's this big demon at the top, and like you move around the board, and like every once in a while you'd like something would happen, and you'd have to do this thing where the demon would like spit out a marble, and the marble would roll down the map, and if it hit your dude, it would like knock your ass out, and you'd have to go back to start. And it was such a cool game, dude, and I loved that game. And I got older, and I'm like, man, you know what I would love to get is a copy of Fireball Island. Shit was like $500. I was like, okay, never mind, I don't need it that bad. But I guess it got reprinted, so there's like a cheaper version of it you can buy, like a reprint or whatever. That's still really expensive.
Yeah, I'm looking at the 86 version, board and box only is $50.
That's not bad. Well, just the board and box. Yeah. That's because it's missing all the die and the characters.
Shit.
Yeah, if you don't have the demon who spits the marbles, fuck that shit. It's like buying Mousetrap without the fucking shit. Get out of here. Why would you buy that? Board and box only. Okay.
Oh, man. Love it. Anyway,
So-
Crossfire. Yeah. Get your life together.
Crossfire! Dude, anyway. So this is Saviors of Sapphire Wings and Strangers of Sword City Revisited. Another NAS game. This is a first-person dungeon crawler game.
Oh, cool.
I'm kind of obsessed with this particular genre of games.
Person dungeon crawler.
Yeah, so it's like it's kind of like if you ever play Phantasy Star, it looks like the combat from that game where it's like you see the enemies in front of you. It's an old school RPG style.
Okay.
But it's all from the first person's perspective. And yeah, it's just these games are, if you like one of these games, you'll like all of these games pretty much. It's like one of those things. Like they're all very similar. But it's like really nerdy. It's very RPG stat based type of game. I don't know in particular if these are like super amazing, or if these are the best ones or anything like that, but I know that this is actually kind of rare. And it was actually pretty expensive anyway, but guess who reprinted it? BGP. So they did a little reprint in Reno, and then I picked it up for a reasonable price because I didn't want to pay what it was going for on eBay. So yeah.
I love dungeon crawlers. They're just so much fun.
Yeah, they're just they're like complicated, but not super complicated. That's why I like them. Good.
Oh, I just thought of a game called Darkstone that I used to play on the PC, and I didn't know this until I started getting into emulators and ROMs and stuff. But they made a version for the PS1, and like it's almost like it's similar, but like not as in depth as I remember on the PC. But it's like just games like old school dungeon crawlers. I guess from that perspective, it's very Diablo, and
it's a third person type.
Yeah,
because there's top-down dungeon crawlers. It's like a whole different genre. There's tons of those too, like the Sheeran the Wanderer games and shit like that. Those are considered those. And then there's tons of Japanese ones, like just an endless amount of them. So it's a fun little genre.
Love it.
This is Dodo, dude. I'm so excited to finally have gotten this.
What?
Yeah, dude. So this is like it's like a brand new old school arcade game. So it's like a single screen arcade game like Popeye or Donkey Kong or Joust or some shit, like where you just have like the one type screen or whatever.
Yep.
But it's a brand new game, and it looks super fun, dude. So, buying the physical Switch copy is probably overkill. Like this is like $30 or whatever, and it's probably not worth that. But I'm super excited to have it. I love shit like this. Like I ordered like Mr. Driller from Japan. Like I love like old games that get remastered. Like, it's so funny. Like Metal Jesus did a video and showed off like all these games, and the one game I ordered was like the $10 Boulder Dash. I was like, Boulder Dash, fuck yeah! So it's like I like these types of things. So this looks super fun. If you just want to play it digitally, it's super cheap. And then it's also got a release on the Evercade, I believe. It's on one of the Evercade carts.
Probably like $5 on the Evercade.
Yeah, the Evercade cart's like $20, and you get like 6 games, and this is one of them. So, dude, the Evercade's the fucking shit, dude. If you want games for your dollar value, it's amazing.
Can you change the aspect ratio to fit like a traditional arcade screen, like the vertical screens?
I don't know if this does like a Tate mode or something. I probably doesn't, just because it is a new game. But I'm not sure. I'm sure I haven't played it.
There was a scroller shoot 'em up game that I got for the Switch a while back, and it was one that you could actually like pivot it vertically, and I was like,
oh hell yeah,
that's cool.
That's actually like what got me impressed with the Switch when it first came out. I had no interest in it. I'm just not a Nintendo kid growing up, except for like Pokemon, but it was that when I was like, all right, the Switch is okay. They're letting me turn this damn console. It's cool.
Yeah, they have this thing for the Switch called the Flip Grip. Have you ever heard of it? Let me see if I have it.
I'm already using my imagination, and it sounds wicked.
It's like
so like a PlayStation Portal, but you got like a vertical screen in the middle.
Okay. So this is like my bootleg. This is like my bootleg knockoff ones because this. So basically, what it is this thing. You take your
Tight.
switch and you turn it the vertical way, and you slide it in here, and then on the sides it has these slots for your Joy-Cons to lock into.
That's cool.
And then you can play with the Tate mode and handheld mode. This one is like I got off Etsy because there's like an official flip grip from I think it's Fangamer.
Okay.
Pretty sure it's Fangamer. And that one doesn't fit on the OLED model. It only works on the old Switch. So this one I ordered off of Etsy. It's like a 3D printed one, and it works. So yeah, these things are fucking awesome. And then
That's
you can play.
So cool.
Yeah, and then like if you like pinball games, like Star Wars pinball, you can put sideways. You can play them like that, dude. It's freaking awesome. So like, there's quite a few games like that. So yeah, these things are freaking cool, dude. I highly recommend getting these. It's also like, especially stuff like this that's like 3D printed off Etsy. You know, these ain't gonna be around forever. The guy's just gonna stop doing it. So,
and then you just get your own 3D printer and keep the file on your computer forever. And then
that's true.
There you go, boy. You could sell them. You could be the guy,
right? Be swimming in them.
It could be called the Joe Flips.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. Never mind. So I picked up just a couple movies. I'll show off real quick. I got The Last Starfighter, the perfect high def movie experience. Anybody, you guys see this terrible movie? So this is like
about movies, please.
So this is an old ass movie, but like this is like dude, I can't even tell you how much of an effect. So it's basically like this is about a kid who is like really dope at video games. And basically he gets recruited. It says, you have been recruited by the Star League to defend the frontier against Zur and the Kodan Armada.
Oh, dude.
After Earthling Alex conquers the Starfighter video game, he gets recruited by an alien Centauri to be part of an elite legion of fighters, leaving behind his trailer park home for the outer regions of space. So you would love this because it's about a kid who's obsessed with video games who goes to outer space. So it sounds like you would right up your fucking alley, bro.
Dude.
Yes. And like literally I used to like, this is like a fantasy because like I've always said like I play shmups nonstop, and like I'm like someday I'm either gonna get abducted by aliens like this fucking dude, or the military's gonna be like, Joe, we need you to man our drone fleet to take out China. They're coming. They're coming. I'll be like, let's go.
Dude, that's crazy. I haven't thought about this movie in so long, and I just remember bits and pieces as a kid, but now I'm full on interested in.
It's like $6.
Nice.
So, I usually try to get
4K
UHDs, but you know, sometimes you can't. They don't exist, and so I pick up the Blu-rays and
next best option.
Yeah, and it looks great. I mean, you know, this when I saw it, it looked like shit in 1987. When the fuck I saw it, you know what I mean? So even on Blu-ray, it's gonna look goddamn amazing. 1984. So when this came out, I was 2.
That's why I haven't seen it.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, you probably have no idea. But dude, this is, you know, it's cheesy, but it's fucking awesome. Let's just, dude. If you're into video games and you're a fucking nerd, I highly recommend it.
Totally. You see, I was born in '89, but like everything '80s I grew up with, we had so many movies in the house.
Hell yeah.
And
dude, the glory days. I am blessed to have grown up when I did. I got the best video games, the best movies. I had no idea how good I had it. I thought shit was only going to get better as time went on. Nope. Not at all. Fucking terrible. Everything that comes out is awful. Anyway, I got the X-Men 3 film collection on 4K.
Man,
nothing
not
special.
Bad.
Yeah,
not bad.
It's cheap. I want to get all of these. This is another series that's fucking annoying because like they have a box set. You know how there's like 2 casts? They have these ones, and then they have the ones with the younger cast or whatever, the Days of Future Past or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? The other X-Men movies. So these are the original ones with, Patrick Stewart and all them. But they came out with a new cast, and they made a bunch of movies. But those movies, there's 4 of them, but they only sell the box set for 3 of them. Why? Why?
That's so mean.
Why are you doing that to me? My OCD does not like that. So I'm like, I don't know what to do. Do I buy the box set with the 3 of them and then buy the one? Or do I just buy them all individually, all 4 of them, because I don't want to have a box set with 3 and then 1.
That would annoy me.
Yeah, I almost fell for it again because they Shrek. They have like a 4-movie Shrek collection. I almost bought it, but I just found out they're making Shrek 5. So I ain't buying that shit. I'm waiting for the 5 set, baby.
You buy that, and I'll come out with Shrek 6.
I do really want the Shrek thing. I really do. All right, here we go. My last one. So I got this ridiculously large box, and I even got a special sound effect for it. Ready?
That's a huge bitch.
So this is My Time at Sandrock, the collector's edition.
Cool.
So what this is there's a game called My Time at Porsche, and it was a decent game. It's it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. It's kind of like a cozy game, I guess you'd call it. It's like not really combat oriented. It's a lot of collecting and that sort of thing. Anyway, this is the sequel, and
Cool.
I normally my girlfriend loves these games, so I wanted to pick this up for her. And I normally do not get collector's editions because of this fucking reason. Because look at how ridiculously big this is. What the freaking hell, man? But I picked
to like fit it on your shelf. Do it.
seriously. So I'll probably take the game out of it and then put the box in the closet, dude.
You might as well just bought the game at that point.
That's cool,
Dude, you can get one of those like
anyway.
Those clear cases.
The only reason I purchased this
for the Game Boys
because it was on sale for $39.99 instead of $130 or some shit like that.
Oh wow! Yeah.
So I was like, okay, sounds good. Hold on one second.
That'll live in the closet for $39.99.
Right. It's my favorite meme. It's like, here you go, up on the shelf.
There we go. Now, what's really confusing about this, which I don't understand, is the PS4 is up for pre-order. So this has been out forever to the point where it's been discounted.
I would assume that they're not getting a release. What's happening.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, I feel like this PS4 copy ain't ever coming.
So when I was collecting PS3 full set, there was a lot of games that was coming soon that had PS4 releases, and they just never came. And that's, it was just like placeholder titles.
Yeah, that's why I was like.
And I even tried ordering one. I got a refund.
So, so like I was like so confused because like this PS5 collector's edition was like $30, $40, whatever it is, but you could still pre-order the PS4 copy for $130. And I'm like, huh? Okay. So anyway, like this is for my girlfriend and she doesn't give a shit if it's on PS4 or PS5 Switch. None of that. So I just figured I'd pick it up for her because it was cheap. So yeah, now I have this ungodly large box.
Just got to find a custom case for it, like for the Game Boys, and then hang it up in the corner of your room with like some fish wire, and so it's floating.
There we go.
That's a good way. That way it doesn't die in your closet.
Bro, you should see how much stuff I got in there, man. It's ridiculous because I just
I don't know. Just the closet.
Well, like you remember, I used to have the PS5 plates. I have every color, and I used to keep them all up here. But I was like, that's just taking up too much real estate. So now they're all boxed up in the closet.
PS5 plates? Like the dinner plates?
No, like the face plates. Like, you know how you have that crazy face plate on your little PC thing? They made it interchangeable. Yeah, so they have like the black and the red and the pink and the blue and the purple and all that crap. Yeah. So I pretty much got all of them except for I don't have the Final Fantasy 16 one, I think, is the only one I don't have, I believe.
Nice.
I think I have all the other ones. I have the Spider-Man ones. Is there any other limited edition ones? Was there more? I think that was it. So I think I have all of them except for the Final Fantasy 16 ones. And I should pick that up because I got the controller, but it's one of those things I forgot about and I haven't looked at it and I don't even want to know how much it is right now.
I decided everyone finds you on social media, man.
What's that? I
don't do too much active social media these days, but I mean, Instagram Hazardous Game Collection. You can find me there. I am planning actually on like a new brand resurgence, just with now I'm like going full hog with the racing simulator stuff, that like I want to help people like flesh out their systems and troubleshoot their issues and whatnot. So I'm on Reddit a lot now because of that. But just like a lot of technical stuff, I'm really big into DIY and, like I was saying earlier, like tinkering. So Reddit is a big place for me right now, but Instagram is where I'm planning to show off like all those like finished products finally.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys, I think I put that already in the comment. I'm pretty sure I did. So if you go in the comment,
Twitch occasionally.
Oh, okay, cool.
It is. It's in the description, so everyone go drop Hazard a follow on his Instagram.
Right
Yeah.
on. And if we can add your Twitch too, if you want afterwards.
Everything's just Hazardous GC.
Every so often, I'll try and every time I see you on live on there, I'll click on it. So
it's so cool. Yeah, I was like, it's so cool to see Figsy because, like, again, like just in this whole space, you're like the oldest buddy that I've made within it, and it's like that's cool. We're still like hanging out,
still connecting with different platforms, and I
different
did a
countries.
like 2 days ago, and there was like 80 people in there at one point. And I thought, I'm like, shit, I need to like do this more often.
Yeah.
Now that's definitely one thing about the gaming community that I love is it's an actual community of really cool people. So
Yeah.
it's fun to talk to people who are actually passionate about this stuff, because I'm sure you guys are, used to people not being so passionate about this stuff when you talk to them.
Yeah.
So it's so nice to be like, I have this thing, and someone's like, that's actually really cool, as opposed to everybody else who goes, oh, what the fuck is that?
But see, I won't talk to people about it in person anymore because I got the podcast to talk about it. Because I find most people don't care about this stuff. So
Exactly.
unless someone's like really interested, I'll just share it with you guys. Because like I'm not going down the street talking to some random person and be like, look how cool this is, and they're like, oh, that's pretty nerdy.
It's
Not
hard
me,
to
man.
it's
Put 'em
hard
all
for
in
some
those
people
cases.
to align. Like they'll try to align with you, like, oh, I used to collect Coca-Cola memorabilia.
Or yeah, I play Call of Duty, and that's their like associated with game collecting. It's like, okay.
Oh, dude, that's when I used to talk about heavy metal. People are like, oh, you like heavy metal? I'm like, sure do. They're like, me too. I like Godsmack. And I'm like, all right, no, we're not talking about the same thing. Just stop right now. That's not what I mean. Nothing against them. They're fine. But that to me is like pop rock. That ain't metal, bro. Not at all.
It's called new metal, okay?
Yeah, exactly. They were like, Mudvayne. I'm like, yeah, they're decent.
I'm actually gonna go see Limp Bizkit in August, so I'm actually pretty fucking psyched for that shit.
Hell yeah.
I grew up on Results May Vary. That was like the one album that like
good.
I liked listen to Korn, and I listened to all that shit too. Everybody did, at the time. But like, it's not like I didn't like that stuff, but it was always like, I always called it like Miller Lite, and I liked whiskey. I want Cannibal Corpse. You know what I'm saying? That stuff's like fine, but it's not enough. It's like it's like listening to like freaking what's that bit, Disturbed or something. I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's sort of heavy, but
I mean, they actually became a pop band. So
yeah, they literally, it's pop. It's not really, it's not dark. It's kind of silly. You know what I mean? So anyway,
I guess we might wrap that one up. Hazard, thanks so much for coming on, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah, thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
Yep. And if you guys enjoy the show, please go sub to Hazardous. Please sub to Figsy. You can sub to me. All the stuff's down below. Don't forget Reggie. He ain't here, but he's here in spirit. Go sub to Reggie. And we'll see you guys again next week. Next week we have Nerdy Nick returning again from the N Squared podcast. It'll be his second time on the show, and first time was really awesome. I had a great time, so that should be a great episode. So I hope you guys will tune in next week as well.
Awesome. Well, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
Hey, everybody.
You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation Collecting Nerds. Come on, won't you stay with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world. They'll show the people what they need to gonna show you